Supercar arrived at Hoang Din Hotel, a super luxurious and expensive hotel. From inside the car, someone asked, "So Tran, do you remember what I told you?" The young man with bright brown hair, wearing a suit with a white shirt with no buttons, looked so worldly. This was So Tran, the third son-in-law of the Tang family. He put his hands behind his head and chuckled. "Remember what?" The girl driving the car in a very sexy pink outfit replied to him, "Sigh. Anyway, we've been husband and wife in name for 5 years. Remember tonight's birthday party, your situation will be very dangerous." The girl driving the car just now was Tang Nian, the third miss of the Tang family. She added to him, "When the time comes, I'll give you some money. You must leave Thien Tan and hide well. Otherwise," before she could finish her words, he interrupted her, "Hey, it seems like he's already asleep." Tang No Hai, the butler of the Tang family, opened the door for Tang Nian. He told her, "Third miss, the master has been waiting for a long time." She gently got out of the car and said to the butler, "Leave him be. Let him sleep a little longer." She walked away in a very daring pink dress with a deep cleavage, revealing her long, white legs. The paparazzi couldn't stop taking photos of her. They even praised her. "Wow, third miss of the Tang family, Tang Nian, is here. It's true that seeing is believing, she's so beautiful. But third miss is usually modest and yet she invites the elite from all walks of life to her birthday party. It's truly a grand affair like this. I feel like something big will definitely happen tonight." The paparazzi now focused on Tang Nian's car. Seeing So Tran inside, everyone was wondering. Someone asked, "Who is the man in third miss's car?" Someone replied, "He's her husband, So Tran, the fool." "Ah, the fool? Didn't third miss get married 5 years ago?" Someone else replied, "Yes, I don't know why either." So Tran was sleeping at this moment. It seemed he couldn't hear everyone talking outside. Someone looked at him and still wondered, such a beautiful woman, and she married a fool for 5 years. It's really like a rose placed on a pile of manure. Just then, the jade pendant around his neck started to glow. A very impressive jade pendant, emerald green, illuminated his whole body. At this moment, the birthday celebration in the room was very lively. An older man said, "Haha, for the past 5 years, our Tang family has been precarious. But thankfully, that fool So Tran carries a strong fortune. It seems like he's been blessed." The person who was holding the glass of wine and talking was Tang Ta Yang, the master of the Tang family. At this time, a man with long hair, wearing a shirt with the yin-yang symbol, walked up and said, "Indeed, for the past 5 years, the Tang family has relied on this fortune to revive itself." This person was Zhang Yun Guo, the Taoist priest. Tang Nian looked thoughtfully for a moment before speaking, "But after tonight, the fortune on So Tran will be gone. His fortune will run out, his relationship will dissolve." Her father chuckled and said back, "Haha, Nian, for 5 years you suffered. After that, you won't have to stay with that fool anymore." She seemed angry and said, "Father, do you really need to proclaim it like that? We can simply have So Tran dealt with directly." Her father continued, Nian, father does this for your own good." He sat in his chair, folded his arms, chuckled, and said, "For 5 years, everyone knows the Tang family picked a foolish son-in-law. Tonight, you must end your relationship with So Tran in front of the entire city. Besides, you have to know that Yi Xiao Huang from the Huang Din Corporation has his eyes on you." He continued, "We want to cling to a big family, to be able to rank among the elite in Thien Tan. That's what it means to climb the tree and become a phoenix." Tang Nian thought about the Huang Din Corporation's heir, Yi Xiao Huang, the young master of the Yi family. Just then, Yi Xiao Huang's car arrived outside the hotel. He got out of the car and people shouted, "Move out of the way! Move out of the way! The young master of Huang Din Corporation is here." He walked out with a very imposing appearance, wearing a fur coat. He looked like an emperor entering the palace. The girls looked at him and exclaimed, "Oh, this is Yi Xiao, the proud son of the Thien Tan business world. Wow, he's so handsome. No wonder he's the young master of a big family. I hope Tang Nian's husband is Yi Xiao, not that fool." Yi Xiao turned to ask Manager Pang, who was in the car, "Who is that person?" Manager Pang replied, "Ah, that's the third son-in-law of the Tang family, the one who lives there." Yi Xiao Huang's face seemed to have a plan. "Oh, that's him. Quickly wake him up. I want to greet him." They both walked towards the car and called out to So Tran, Hey, wake up, fool." They pushed So Tran down onto the seat, bang, but he still didn't wake up. They both pushed him, very surprised. No, no, no. He won't wake up. He's sleeping like the dead. Someone else spoke up. Ha ha ha, Yi Xiao, that fool. He's sleeping like a dead pig. He won't wake up. So Tran was still deep in sleep. The jade pendant around his neck was filled with a green light surrounding his face. They couldn't wake So Tran up, so they decided to leave. The two men called out to him and laughed. Haha, forget it. Yi Xiao Huang also laughed. Haha, that's right. I wanted to talk to the fool. It's a bit of a loss of face. At this time, the jade pendant around his neck seemed to glow brighter than usual. Half of the jade pendant flew directly into Yi Xiao Huang's head. At that moment, So Tran woke up. Only half of the jade pendant remained on his neck. He said, "My name is So Tran." He opened the car door and stepped out, but his upper body remained inside the car. He said to Yi Xiao Huang, "Young master, do you have something for me?" Yi Xiao Huang heard this and immediately turned around. Manager Peng saw this and shouted. He dared to throw something at young master Yi. Yi Xiao Huang raised his hand to stop Manager Peng and said, "Haha, it's alright." He turned to So Tran and said, "I heard that since you moved in with the Tong family, you haven't even spoken a complete sentence. That sentence just now was a big improvement, huh?" Manager Peng laughed out loud. "Ha ha ha, young master Yi, you're so funny." Another man beside him also burst into laughter. He doesn't even know how to talk. I want to know if he can even go to the toilet by himself. Yi Xiao Huang walked closer to So Tran and leaned down to say, "Out of pity for you being so pathetic, I'll tell you a few more things that you won't understand. Tonight, your identity as the son-in-law of the Tong family will expire, and that wife of yours, who's in name only, will soon become my woman." Yi Xiao Huang glared at So Tran. "Understand, fool?" But So Tran didn't respond to his words. He got angry and left. Manager Peng beside him said to him, "Ha ha ha, young master Yi, let's go." "Forget about that fool." Yi Xiao Huang sighed and walked away. So Tran chuckled, "Ha, I'm the fool. 5 years ago, I learned the art of Qi Men Dun Jia and came back. I originally planned to rely on my abilities to command the wind and rain." He recalled his past 5 years. A car hit him. He thought back, "I don't know when I was studying soul-suppressing talismans. The soul-suppressing talisman accidentally lost control, locking my soul and 5 spirits. A girl appeared when he was hit by the car. It was at that time that I was hit by Tong Nian's car. After that, I was brought to the Tong family. For 5 years, after I became a fool, I had to be abandoned and become the laughingstock of the entire city tonight." Hoang Din Hotel. He started to step out of the car and enter the hotel. But when everyone chased me out of the house, Tong Nian seemed to be the only one who wasn't willing to abandon me. Tong Nian argued with her father. "Father, the struggle of a big family shouldn't involve innocent people. Highs, suddenly I have a wife. But thankfully, she's not bad." Tong Nian stood up to protect me in front of the whole family. If she silently protected me for 5 years, then next. He walked confidently into the hotel with determination. "It's my turn to protect her." While walking, a voice called out from behind So Tran, "That fool, no, that foolish brother-in-law. Don't you hear me calling you?" So Tran frowned, not knowing who was calling him. The person continued, "Don't you know you're the big star tonight?" The person behind him was Tong Kan Bang, Tong Nian's cousin. He held a glass of wine in one hand and the other arm was around a beautiful girl in a red dress. He continued, "You suddenly disappeared, making us panic and search for you." The girl in the red dress beside Tong Kan Bang looked at him and said, "Oh, this is the fool? It's a pity for this face." He turned to look at Tong Kan Bang. He recalled the past 5 years. For 5 years, no one in the Tong family cared about me. He remembered how Tong Kan Bang beat him to the point where he couldn't resist. Tong Kan Bang secretly inflicted various kinds of violence on him. He treated him like a punching bag, punching him and laughing, "Haha, this punching bag is not bad." Tong Kan Bang didn't see So Tran respond to him and continued, "Ah, that's right, brother-in-law." He immediately spit into the glass of wine he was holding. He raised the glass of wine high and offered it to So Tran, "To express my apologies, perform a talent for us. Drink this glass of Baiqi Shui. Drink it, and I won't beat you today." The guests nearby saw this and laughed. "Wow, there's a good show to watch." So Tran took the glass of wine and asked Tong Kan Bang, "Give me a drink." Tong Kan Bang pointed at his chest and said, "Nonsense. Why would I give you a drink?" The people standing nearby laughed loudly, "Ha ha ha." So Tran held the glass of wine and slowly raised it towards his mouth. The people around him laughed loudly. Ha ha ha, I'm going to laugh myself to death. Ha ha ha, the fool is truly a fool. Tong Kan Bang seemed proud to see So Tran holding the glass of wine. He thought, oh, I was so violent before. Why didn't I think of a clever way to tease him like this? The girl beside him also laughed at So Tran. The people around him laughed even louder. Ha ha ha, my stomach hurts from laughing. While everyone was laughing happily, So Tran used his hand to cover Tong Kan Bang's mouth. Highs, if you want to drink, why are you standing so high? How can you drink? Tong Kan Bang was truly surprised by So Tran's action. So Tran used his strength to squeeze Tong Kan Bang's mouth, forcing him to kneel down, and slowly poured the remaining wine into his mouth. He continued to pour all the wine into his mouth, in front of everyone's amazement. Tong Kan Bang couldn't resist and could only yell, ah. He poured all the wine into his mouth and then kicked him away. Now, are you comfortable drinking? Everyone had their mouths wide open and eyes wide in amazement. My God, Tong Kan Bang was joking. If he didn't drink, this fool would take it seriously. The fool's ability to understand is truly limited. Look at this foolish appearance. The people around him saw his actions and still thought he didn't understand Tong Kan Bang's meaning. After being kicked away, Tong Kan Bang bent over and tried to vomit out all the wine. Cough, 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 cough. While vomiting, he cursed, damn it, So Tran. He stood up, reached behind him, and slowly pulled out a knife, approaching So Tran. You made me lose face in front of so many elites. He immediately held the knife and threw it at So Tran. His eyes looked very scary, as if he was determined to kill So Tran. You're seeking death. Before the knife could reach So Tran, an arm grabbed it and shouted, Tong Kan Bang, stop. The person holding Tong Kan Bang's hand was Tong No Hai. He said to Tong Kan Bang, what do you think you're doing in front of so many distinguished guests of Thien Ton? Do you want to damage our Tong family's image? His expression was still full of anger and indignation. Didn't the butler Tong humiliate me in front of everyone? I want revenge. Tong No Hai shouted, enough. Tong No Hai leaned close to Tong Kan Bang's ear and whispered, it's not good to attack in front of everyone. The master wants to see him. I'll find an opportunity later for you to beat him up. Tong Kan Bang heard this and stopped. HMPH, I was wrong. Then he slowly walked inside, not forgetting to nudge So Tran in the shoulder. Tong No Hai saw this and said, that's alright. Tong No Hai turned to So Tran and said, So Tran, the master wants to see you. Follow me. So Tran was surprised. Oh. Tong Kan Bang was still very indignant. He still wanted to give So Tran a lesson. So Tran, you're being arrogant for a while. Wait for me. So Tran followed Tong No Hai to Tong Ta Yang's room. Tong No Hai opened the door for So Tran. You're here, go in. So Tran slowly stepped inside. In this room, everyone was from the Tong family. Everyone turned to look at him. Tong Ta Yang said, So Tran, sit down. So Tran saw this scene and thought, for 5 years, I could only stand by the side during family meetings. Today, I have this kind of treatment. He sat down near Tong Ta Yang, facing Tong Nian. At this time, Tong Ta Yang said, alright, everyone is here now. Let me be straightforward. For 5 years, our Tong family has relied on So Tran's fortune to revive itself. However, the Taoist priest Zhang said before leaving. Tong Ta Yang continued, So Tran's fortune will last until tonight, so we must quickly have Nian get a divorce from So Tran. Otherwise, So Tran will bring bad luck to us. The man in the red suit handed him a piece of paper. He was the eldest son-in-law of the Tong family, Lin Xinping. He handed it to him and said, So Tran, you have to sign it. Do you know how to write? Chu Chen, the third son-in-law of the Tong family, mocked him. I wonder if he can even hold a pen now. Lin Xinping chuckled and said, haha, I was shallow-minded. He saw the divorce paper on the table, between him and Tong Nian. He thought to himself, indeed, they want to get rid of the son-in-law. They still think I'm a fool. But these trash think what they want. I don't care, and I'm too lazy to explain to them. They'll have plenty of opportunities and face later. He looked at Tong Nian, who was looking down at the table. He thought, I only care about Tong Nian. After all, she's the only one who's been good to me in the past 5 years. The people around him whispered, ha ha ha, what's this fool doing? He's probably thinking about how to write his name. He's probably thinking so hard his brain has shut down. Ha ha ha. At this moment, Tong Nian stood up and shouted, enough. So Tran is a man who has the ability to create a masterpiece. He only has a disability in his intelligence. Please respect him. Chu Jian laughed loudly and said back to her, haha, my sister is right. So Tran saw that the divorce paper didn't have Tong Nyan's signature. He thought, she won't sign. I won't sign. If she signs, I won't stay here for a second. Tong Nyan seemed very sad to be sitting here doing this. Tong No Hai walked over to Tong Ta Yang and said softly, Master, the third young master of the Yang family in Yang City is looking for you to talk about a cooperation. Tong Ta Yang replied, what? You mean the third young master of the Xia family in Yang City? It seems like Tong Ta Yang was very surprised. Tong No Hai immediately said, yes. Tong No Hai continued, those young masters have a request. They want to see the most famous son-in-law of the Tong family during the discussions. Lin Shinping heard this and stood up. What? You mean those young masters want to meet me? Chu Jian heard Lin Shinping say this and looked at him with disdain. Isn't he just a medicine seller with a little fame? Why does he look so arrogant? Tong Ta Yang heard this and stood up immediately, smiling. What are we waiting for? Don't let young Master Xia wait. Lin Shinping followed his father-in-law with a very proud attitude. Alright, let's go. I'll return victorious. Tong Shu, the son of Tong Ta Yang, turned to his mother and said, Mother, which family is that? I've never heard of them in Thien Tan. To Yu Nyan, the master of the Tong family and wife of Tong Ta Yang, replied, that's the Xia family in Yang City. They are a family with more power than the Yi Xiao Huang family. She continued, this time, the Xia family is advancing into Thien Tan. Many people want to cooperate with the Xia family. But once you get the Xia family on your side, you might be able to climb the tree and become a phoenix. This is a once-in-100 years opportunity. She turned to Tong Nyan, Nyan, your eldest son-in-law has secured such excellent resources. The Yi family relied on you to secure it yourself. Tong Nyan seemed to be very thoughtful. So Tran sat on this side and thought, no wonder they're called the Tong family. They can sell their daughters and speak so naturally. Suddenly, a loud voice came from outside the door, and footsteps approached. It can't be that young Master Xia doesn't have a son-in-law who hits people in front of everyone. I saw it with my own eyes. Everyone turned towards the door. At this time, the door was flung open. Haha, didn't we find him? To Yu Nyan, Tong Shu, Tong Nyan, and Chu Jian all had their mouths wide open and eyes wide in amazement, looking at the door. Tu Wei Nyan quickly stood up, pretending to be friendly. What's wrong? Xia Ha Xiu has arrived, everyone stand up. She gestured with her hand, signaling everyone to rise. She happily clapped her hands and laughed. Haha, Xia Xiu wants to find our son-in-law, right? Chu Jian, standing behind her, bowed. Greetings, Xia Xiu. I'm Chu Jian. So Tran was also puzzled. What's going on? Could it be that the son-in-law Xia Xiu wants his Chu Jian? He stepped forward, pushing Chu Jian aside. Everyone was stunned. He walked towards So Tran. Haha, I saw you beat that guy in the lobby earlier. He extended his hand, wanting to shake So Tran's. My name is Ha Bak. I like you. Can I have a private chat with you tomorrow? I'm the third son of the Ha family from Yangcheng. Tong Ta Duong and Lam Tin Bin were both surprised. They couldn't believe Xia Xiu wanted to meet So Tran. So Tran put his hands behind his head, leaning back in his chair. He responded, sure, I don't have anything going on tomorrow. My name is So Tran. The two shook hands and made plans for the next day. So Tran said, let's talk tomorrow. Ha Bak agreed, alright, it's decided. Tong Ta Duong exclaimed in shock. What's going on? Tu Wei Nyan was also curious. The son-in-law Xia Xiu wants to meet is So Tran? Why would it be this idiot? So Tran and Ha Bak were happily shaking hands. The room was filled with curiosity about Ha Bak's actions. Lam Tin Bin said, what is this all about? Tong Ta Duong also said, what else could it be? So Tran crossed his legs, leaning back in his chair, ignoring everyone's comments. Tong Ta Duong continued. Xia Xiu saw him beating Tong Kan Bang in the lobby and found it interesting, so he wants to meet him. While Ha Bak looked forward to his meeting with So Tran tomorrow, Tong Ta Duong was worried. What if tomorrow So Tran, in his idiocy, offends Xia Xiu? Our 5 years of effort will be ruined. Why would that happen? Tong Ta Duong was clearly worried about the Tong family. He shouted at Tong Nyan, Nyan, sign it now. Tong Nyan was also angry. Dad, it seems you don't want to sign either. Her mother squeezed her daughter's shoulder. Nyan, just sign and the Tong family and So Tran will have no relation. Even if the Ha family gets angry, we'll be less involved. Tong Nyan looked exhausted from hearing these words. Her brothers continued, that's right, little sister. Even if not for the family, think of yourself. Sign it quickly, little sister. It's for your own good. Tong Nyan held the pen but was still hesitant to sign. She began to put the pen on the divorce paper. Sutran, on the other side, thought, haha, Sutran has dedicated 5 years to the family, now he's being abandoned, so be it. He watched Tong Nyan's every move. He thought, in the end, she still chooses the family. Tong Nyan pressed down hard on the pen, drawing a thick line on the divorce paper. She threw the pen down and shouted, 5 years, Sutran has been helping our Tong family through thick and thin. Now that you've taken advantage of him, you want to kick him out? A person with a disability like him, how will he survive outside? She said what she had been thinking in front of everyone. Tu Wei Nyan glared at her daughter. Tong Ta Duong also shouted, Nyan Nyan, my child. Tong Nyan continued, I don't like that deep Xiu Huang, and I don't want to be a tool for your arranged marriage. Her mother looked directly into her eyes, angry. Her brothers were also confused by her actions. Tong Ta Duong slammed his hand on the table, rebellious girl. You must sign this divorce paper today, whether you like it or not. If not, before he could finish, the divorce paper was torn to shreds. Everyone turned to see who did it. It was Sotran. He had torn the divorce paper into 100 pieces, scattering them across the room. Don't you see that Tong Nyan isn't happy? Tong Ta Duong slammed his hand on the table again, shouting at him, you're so bold. He pointed his finger at Sotran, yelling, Sotran, how dare you tear the divorce paper? Lam Tin Bin stood there, angry too. How could he do that? Sotran remained calm and replied, I know the Ha family's cooperation is important to you, but you saw earlier that Sha Xiu only wanted to cooperate with me. He stood facing Tong Ta Duong. I hope you respect Tong Nyan's opinion, or what will you say to Sha Xiu tomorrow? He still spoke calmly, it won't be easy to explain. He told Tong Ta Duong, if something happens, I'll take full responsibility. The Tong family won't be involved. Tong Ta Duong, after hearing this, shouted, you're threatening me. He thought, how can this idiot speak so clearly? Sutran's actions today made him think twice. Lam Tin Bin also shouted, Sutran, who do you think you are? If you cause trouble tomorrow, who will take responsibility? A voice came from somewhere, I'll vouch for him. Tong Ta Duong, Lam Tin Bin, and Chu Jian all turned in shock to see who it was. It was Deep Xiu Huang, who had just entered. Don't worry, everyone. If Sutran causes any trouble in front of Sha Xiu tomorrow, I'll vouch for the Tong family not being involved. 5 minutes later, Tong Ta Duong, Tong No Hai, Lam Tin Bin, and Chu Jian were still discussing this. Lam Tin Bin said, are you really letting Sutran go meet Sha Xiu? Tong Ta Duong replied, what else can we do? Lam Tin Bin was still hesitant, but Tong Ta Duong responded, this is Deep Xiu's idea. He said, actually, I've been wanting to cooperate with the Ha family. Sha Xiu looking for Sutran was just a joke after he got drunk. Deep Xiu Huang said, I see Tong Shaoxi is still hesitant. Why don't we do things her way? Give Sotran a day to compete fairly with me. Let's see who can secure the Ha family's cooperation. Tong Ta Duong continued, I want to make Sotran lose willingly, so he'll be convinced and Nyan Nyan might see Deep Xiu's strength. Maybe she'll change her mind. But just in case, Tong Ta Duong leaned over and whispered to Tong No Hai, arrange for someone to take Sotran home later. I want. Tong No Hai immediately responded, understood. Tong Nyan could sense that Sotran was trying to protect her. Sotran, thank you for saving me earlier. She thought, Sotran, you're so kind. Why would he take the blame for me? Sotran replied calmly, I suppose so. At this moment, Tong No Hai stepped forward and said to Tong Nyan, Miss, time is running out. I'll take you home. Sotran sounded suspicious of Tong No Hai's words. Then, he said to Sotran, you go rest for now. Sotran replied, Manager Tong, I'll trouble you then. Manager Tong responded, yes. In the women's restroom, there was talk about Sotran beating someone. One girl said, did you see the idiot son-in-law beat Tong Kan Bang in front of everyone? I replied, yes. Tong Kan Bang wanted to fight back, but Manager Tong stopped him. The girl in the red dress continued, what a pity, we missed a good show. I added, it's okay. I saw earlier that Tong Kan Bang called someone. She said while applying makeup, maybe there's still a good show to come. At this moment, Tong Nyan walked past, hearing their conversation. She wondered what they were talking about. Was Tong Kan Bang going to get revenge on Sutran? She felt like Sutran was in danger, so she immediately called Tong No Hai. Meanwhile, at the emergency exit in the hallway, Sutran slowly walked down the stairs while Tong No Hai was on the phone with Tong Nyan. Tong Nyan asked, "Is Sutran home now? Is Tong Kan Bang not there?" Tong No Hai replied, "Allo, miss, we're about to go to the parking lot." "Who's asking about Tong Kan Bang?" Sutran, from behind, called out, "Hey, Manager Tong." Tong Nyan sounded worried as she told Tong No Hai, "I heard you stopped Tong Kan Bang from attacking Sutran, but I'm afraid he might take revenge." Tong No Hai replied, "Haha, don't worry, miss. Sutran is fine with me around. I'll make sure he gets home safely." As they walked towards the parking lot, standing in front of them was a man in a suit, holding a club. He said, "So, the brother-in-law is here?" Tong Nyan seemed relieved. "Okay, Manager Tong, you focus on driving." He replied, "Yes, miss." Goodbye, as he looked towards the other man. It was Tong Kan Bang. He looked at Tong No Hai and said, "I told you I'd find an opportunity to get revenge." Tong Kan Bang, with two thugs behind him, confidently leaned on his club. "Understood, Manager Tong. I owe you one. You can go rest outside for now." Tong No Hai slowly stepped forward and closed the door behind him. Tong No Hai recalled Tong Ta Duang's words, "Just in case, I want to make sure Sutran doesn't meet Sha Xiu tomorrow." He thought, "Humph, with the master's orders, I can borrow a knife to kill someone and gain favor. It's a good deal." Inside, Tong Kan Bang swung his club repeatedly against his left hand. "You made me drink my own words in front of everyone earlier. Now," he lifted the club high, "I'll let you know what it means to be drenched in blood." He swung the club with all his might. "I'll make you pay." Sutran watched the club coming at him, his eyes showing concern. Bang! Crash! A loud sound of fighting came from inside, sounding dangerous. Outside, Tong No Hai listened calmly. Two girls passing by also heard the noise. Tong No Hai leaned in and said, "Hey, remember to break his legs, not his face." After finishing, he thought, maybe the master will need him to appear later. He said, "Why isn't anyone answering?" He opened the door and was surprised by what he saw. It was Tong Kan Bang and his thug lying on the floor. Tong No Hai was shocked and thought, "What the?" After subduing Tong Kan Bang, Sutran had gone somewhere. "Haze, I didn't expect that after coming down from the mountain, I would have to use my Ju Zan Men skills on these low-level thugs. It's embarrassing." He slowly cracked his neck and stretched, to deal with these useless thugs. A voice came from somewhere, "Ha ha ha, Manager Bang, the good show hasn't even started yet." It turned out to be Manager Bang and some thugs. A man with a six-pack stood in the middle and said, "Deep Dage said there was a good show tonight, so I brought everyone here." Manager Bang next to him replied, "That's right. I heard that the Tong family wants to abandon their idiot son-in-law and put Tong San Shaoxi in Deep Dage's bed tonight." A bald man laughed. "The son-in-law is an idiot, so maybe Tong San Shaoxi is still a virgin, right?" The man in the middle was actually Wang Dong, the son of the Wang group. Wang Dong said, "Haha, then we'll trouble Deep Dage to work hard tonight. Put your full strength into it." Everyone was surprised to see these people. Who were they? Sutran frowned when he saw them. Sutran stood in the middle and said, "Hey, what are you guys barking about?" Everyone was startled by his words. Sutran said coldly, "Apologize to my wife." The bald man saw this and was about to step forward. "Who are you? Do you know who this is?" Wang Dong put his hand on his shoulder. "Hold on, I remember him." Wang Dong laughed and pointed at Sutran. "Brothers, you're right. It's Dialong. It's that idiot." He stepped closer to Sutran and pointed at his chest. "Ya, Dialong, do you know that you're about to be green tonight? Your wife, Tong Nyan, is about to be taken by Deep Dage tonight." Before he could finish, he received a full punch from Sutran. Blood splattered. He landed another punch, knocking him to the ground. He said loudly, "I said, apologize to my wife." Everyone present was terrified. Manager Bang saw this and yelled, "This idiot can knock Dong down." Wang Dong managed to stand up. "You dare hit me, you idiot?" He covered his mouth to stop the bleeding, but he still acted tough. "You are." His face was covered in blood. He was furious. "Are you looking to die?" He yelled, "You want to die, don't you?" His eyes were full of resentment. Director Bang tore his hair out. "It's over. That idiot dared to hit the boss of the Vin Corporation, Vin Dong. The Vin Corporation is one of the most difficult gangs to touch, and Vin Dong even opened a boxing room. Vin Dong used all his strength to approach. Everyone who saw it said, "I'm afraid tonight So Tran will." All the people following Vin Dong in the back cheered him on. "Boss, hurry up and show your martial arts. Beat him to a cripple. Boss, kill him." Vin Dong's fist was getting closer and closer to So Tran. So Tran stood there calmly. Before the fist could touch So Tran's face, he kicked him in the groin with a clear and painful kick. Everyone present was stunned and couldn't believe So Tran did this. The sound of Vin Dong falling was loud. Director Bang also couldn't believe his eyes. What the? Bang! Vin Dong fell face first in front of So Tran. Blood flowed from his mouth continuously, but he still couldn't forget to swear, "Damn you. Are you all idiots?" He turned to his soldiers and ordered, "Charge at him." So Tran remained calm. All of Vin Dong's men rushed forward with clubs in their hands. Vin Dong commanded, "Kill him for me." In the passageway to the basement at this time, Tong No Hai was still calling out, "Tong Kon Bang. Tong Kon Bang." He helped Tong Kon Bang to sit up and tried to wake him. "What happened? Who beat you up?" The soldiers who followed Tong Kon Bang were still unconscious. At this moment, Tong Kon Bang woke up, rubbing his head, cough. It was So Tran. Tong No Hai was startled. "What? You were beaten up by him? Where is So Tran?" Tong Kon Bang, whose face was covered with wounds, replied, "I don't know. I just remember that we were clearly fighting So Tran just now." In the hall at this moment, Vin Dong's men were approaching So Tran, shouting loudly, "Kill him." But it seems that So Tran used some kind of magic. He snapped his fingers and said, "Universe. Reverse spell." Suddenly, Vin Dong's men changed direction and started punching Vin Dong. In the basement at this moment, Tong Kon Bang continued, making us fight each other naturally. Tong No Hai heard a very loud noise coming from above. "What's that noise?" It turned out that Vin Dong's men were using the punches intended for So Tran, but they ended up hitting Vin Dong instead. He sprawled on the ground, cough, You useless bastards. Why are you hitting me? I'm the one who should kill you." His whole body was trembling. Everyone was surprised as to why they were hitting Vin Dong. "What's going on?" "We clearly." Before Vin Dong could get to his feet, So Tran stomped on his back. Bop. He could only cry out, "Ah." So Tran commanded everyone present, "All of you, don't come over here. Otherwise, I don't know how many bones you'll break." Everyone present was terrified and dared not approach. Vin Dong was still threatening, cough, "I'm the boss of the Vin family. You dare do this to me?" Before he could finish, So Tran forcefully kicked him down. "Haha, I don't care if you're the boss of the Vin family or the boss of the Cat family. All I know is you have to apologize to my wife right now, otherwise." He could only cry out, "Ah." Vin Dong was very resentful. He thought, "Why? It's clearly my territory, and everyone around is my man. How come I got beaten to the ground by that idiot?" So Tran seemed very excited. "Didn't I come here to watch a play? Why?" Vin Dong was still cursing under his breath. "Damn it." Vin Dong was kicked hard by So Tran. "If you don't apologize, I'll keep kicking." Vin Dong squeezed out the words, Miss Tong Nyan." He used all his strength to shout out the apology. So Tran smiled softly, as if he had achieved his goal. The Vin Dong's men also widened their eyes at Vin Dong's apology. So Tran heard the apology and slowly took his foot off. Good, good. He repeated it many times. Everyone present was terrified. Director Bang stepped back at this moment, thinking, "It's over. It's over. A big incident has happened." From somewhere, a voice called out to So Tran very loudly, as if he were very angry, "So Tran." It turned out to be Tong Ta-Yang. "Didn't I tell you to go home? What are you doing here?" Yi Tiu Huang walked over to Director Bang and asked what happened. "Director Bang, what happened?" Director Bang was startled and looked over. He leaned in and whispered to Yi Tiu Huang. He asked So Tran's identity. Then So Tran didn't say anything and beat Vin Dong to a pulp. Yi Tiu Huang didn't understand what was happening after hearing this. Seeing Vin Dong so badly injured that he couldn't even stand, Yi Tiu Huang thought to himself, "How is this possible? How could that idiot knock down Vin Dong? What kind of power does the Tong family have that's protecting So Tran?" Yi Tiu Huang turned to Tong Ta-Yang and asked, "Mr. Tong, it seems you don't care about your Tong family members, right?" Tong Ta-Yang was startled and broke out in a cold sweat. Yi Tiu Huang continued, "You should know that the most important project for the Tong family right now is the three-way cooperation. Besides my Yi family, the third party. is the Vin Corporation. By this point, Tong Taoyang was already very worried about So Tran's actions, which were affecting them. Yi Tiu Huang put his hand on Tong Taoyang's shoulder. Now your good son-in-law has stirred up trouble. I'm afraid the Vin Corporation won't have the heart to cooperate anymore. Tong Taoyang thought to himself, as Zhang Daocheng said, So Tran's luck has run out. He looked at So Tran and started to think, he started causing trouble for our Tong family. Tong Taoyang quickly bowed and apologized to Vin Dong, Mr. Vin, I represent the Tong family. I apologize. Whatever compensation you want, just say it. The Tong family will definitely apologize sincerely. Vin Dong, whose face was full of wounds, turned around. HMPH, I can't bear the sincerity of the Tong family. It seemed that this business deal was over. He walked past So Tran. Even though he had to be supported by two people, he was still very arrogant. So Tran, I don't care who's protecting you. But if you can make it home tonight in one piece, then my name will be spelled backwards. He yelled at So Tran's face, shocking Tong Taoyang. In the back, Tong Nyan seemed to have heard everything. She thought, why did So Tran beat Vin Dong? Wasn't he supposed to have gone back? Why did he cause trouble? Yi Tiu Huang's eyes were still focused, thinking, haha, starting from now, I don't even need to make a move. People in Thien Tan City will want to take So Tran's life all the time. He stepped towards Vin Dong and stretched out his hand as if to hug him. Alright, Vin Dong, after all, our three families have a cooperative relationship. There's no need to get so angry over a small matter. Vin Dong, whose face was full of wounds, said, big or small, but I. Yi Tiu Huang turned to Tong Taoyang, Mr. Tong, the birthday party has become so chaotic. Why don't we leave first? As for who should leave with us, I think you know. Tong Taoyang seemed embarrassed. Okay, Mr. Yi, I understand. He gestured with his hand. Everyone's alright now, let's go. But the car is full. So Tran, you can take a taxi back yourself. Hearing this, Tong Nyan turned around with a look of confusion. She said to Tong Taoyang, Dad, now you're telling So Tran to go back by himself. Isn't that like taking his life? Tong Taoyang pretended to reassure his daughter, Nyan, what are you talking about? Dad is just telling him to go back to his aunt's house. Why would it take his life? Dad already gave him another day to be a member of the Tong family. Tong Nyan was still very worried. Tong Taoyang continued, if So Tran can return home safely during this time, Dad will personally greet him and clear his name. Lin Xinping, who was standing next to him, added, that's right. It's also thanks to Mr. Yi's mercy. Otherwise, So Tran wouldn't have this chance. This way, if So Tran can return home, brother also will personally pour tea for him. Vin Dong, who was also there, heard this and clapped his hands, bop bop, good. Haha, I didn't expect the Tong family to be so sincere. I was petty earlier. I agree to continue our three-way cooperation. Yi Tiu Huang agreed. Okay, very good. Tomorrow, I will go to the Tong family to pick up Miss Tong Nyan and go to the Shaw family to discuss the cooperation. When we are successful, I will also let Miss Tong take charge of a part of the cooperation. Tong Taoyang was delighted. Haha, that's great. Thank you, Mr. Yi, thank you. Everyone gradually began to leave. Lin Xinping waved goodbye to So Tran. So Tran, we're leaving first. I think this is probably the last time we meet. He walked away and raised his hand high. Mr. Yi's mercy is your last bit of luck. Haha, if you're short of money, send me a dream, I'll burn some for you. Tong Nyan stayed there and didn't follow the others. She laughed, haha, haha. Then she took So Tran's hand and pulled him away. So Tran, let's go. So Tran still didn't understand what was going on. Everyone else looked back. She spoke loudly, as long as we haven't signed the paper, you and So Tran are still husband and wife. I won't run away when I see someone in trouble like that. So Tran was truly surprised to hear these words. Tong Taoyang heard this and became angry. What are you saying, Nyan? Nyan? Yi Tiu Huang immediately stopped him. It's alright. He looked at So Tran and Tong Nyan. His eyes seemed dangerous. I like to see the struggle of my prey before they fall into my hands. Tong Nyan's car was driving on the road. She said to her brother, Xiao Tu, why did you come here? Xiao Tu was driving and said, Sister, we don't want to go anywhere either. Dad told me to protect you. You know So Tran's current situation. She looked down and said, that's right. So Tran angered Vin Dong. So Tran was still looking out the window. She continued, I guess the power of the East is chasing So Tran all over the city. Tong Tu said to So Tran, "So Tran, why did you hit Mr. Vin?" So Tran calmly replied, "He was swearing at me." Tong Tu was shocked. "Damn it. I've been cursing at you for 5 years. Why didn't you hit me?" So Tran replied, "I'd be surprised if I could beat you." "You're good." Xiao Tu continued. Xiao Tu let go of the steering wheel and cracked his knuckles. "Out there in the world, it's all about power. No power, no matter how strong you are, is useless. You're just a coward." Tong Nian looked at So Tran. "That's right, So Tran. I'll take you out of Thien Tan City soon." In the car, they didn't know that people were chasing them. Tong Tu continued to tell So Tran, "From now on, you have to be an honest person, understand?" The 3 people in the car didn't know they were being chased. Suddenly, there was a loud crash from behind the car. Tong Tu and Tong Nian in the car were scared because they were hit. The cars behind them shouted, "Here they are! Here they are!" So Tran remained calm. Tong Nian commanded Tong Tu, "Xiao Tu, quickly get us out of the city." So Tran heard this and stopped her. "No, Tong Tu. Let me get out of the car." He continued, "As long as I'm in the car, they'll threaten the 2 of you. Only when I get out of the car, even if they're there, will the 2 of you be safe." Tong Nian immediately grabbed his arm and stopped him. "No. Are you crazy? If you get out of the car, they'll kill you." Tong Nian's strength couldn't stop So Tran. He pushed her back and opened the door. The 3 of them quickly stopped the car. So Tran opened the door and stepped out. He said to Tong Tu, "Tong Tu, your driving skills are great. Protect your sister well. Also, remember to ask them to compensate you for the car." He walked away, leaving everyone to shout in the car. "Tran, what are you doing? Come back here." Tong Tu opened the door. The cars were coming one after another. They had chased him here. Several people in the car rushed out. "Damn it. That idiot ran away and left his wife behind." Several gangsters holding clubs ran towards So Tran as fast as they could. "Hurry up. Catch that guy who sells women's underwear. Catch him." Vin Dong, though his face was covered with bandages, was still very imposing. "I had to kill that bastard myself. Chase after him and catch him. Chop him to pieces. Chop him to pieces." In the car, Tong Nian was very worried about So Tran. Everyone is chasing after So Tran. She commanded Tong Tu, "Xiao Tu, let me out. I want to negotiate with Yi Tiu Huang." Tong Tu firmly refused. "No, sister. We came here to protect you. You don't need the Vin Corporation's people. They won't dare to hurt you." She came up with a plan. "Now quickly go save So Tran. I'll go negotiate with Yi Tiu Huang. Maybe we can still make it in time. Otherwise, if anything happens to So Tran, I won't recognize you as my brother anymore." Tong Tu seemed helpless when he heard this. He agreed with his sister. "Okay." Both of them got out of the car. Tong Tu went in the direction of So Tran. Tong Nian went to negotiate with Yi Tiu Huang. She said to Yi Tiu Huang, "Yi Tiu Huang, what do you need to do to make you let So Tran go?" Vin Dong leaned on Yi Tiu Huang's shoulder and said to her, "Third Miss Tong, I'll be straight with you. You can write your fingerprints and sign your name, right?" His eyes were full of danger. "Tonight, I must kill So Tran and then use his fingerprints to press them onto the divorce papers. But if you agree to marry Mr. Yi now, I will be merciful and let So Tran live on as a cripple." Hearing this, Tong Nian was very angry. "You want to take advantage of the situation. And you're breaking the law. Don't even think about it." Yi Tiu Huang stepped closer to her and pushed her towards the car. "Shut up, Tong Nian." He continued, "I've given your Tong family a lot of face. I've given them 3 or 4 chances. You keep rejecting my offers, now you want punishment?" Seeing Tong Nian's fear, he continued, "Now, I've lost my patience. Not only do I want you to become mine tonight, but So Tran won't be able to leave here alive." Tong Nian was very angry. She cursed at him, "You're shameless." Tong Tu, who was on the other side, was quietly observing. He was furious. "2 big guys are threatening my sister. They're really shameless." But he was scared and didn't dare to go out. Tong Tu said, "You're a real bastard. Get up." A voice came from somewhere. "Tong Tu, are you just going to watch your sister get bullied like this?" It turned out to be So Tran. Tong Tu was startled and turned around. "So Tran, weren't you being chased by those people? Why are you back?" So Tran calmly replied, "I guess they got lost." So Tran continued, "But didn't you say you could beat up those Vin Dong guys? Why don't you go up there?" Tong Tu stammered, He bowed his head. "I really want to go up there, but that means I'm going against the Yi and Vin corporations. I can't go." So Tran turned and walked away. "Haha, you're a real loser." Seeing So Tran about to step outside, Tong Tu quickly stopped him. "Hey, So Tran, you want to die?" So Tran didn't turn back, but he still said, "Shut up." As he walked, he said, "Xiao Tu, remember what your brother-in-law said." Xiao Tu was very confused. If someone dares to hurt the people you love, you have to stand up bravely. So Tran rolled up his sleeves and walked towards Yi Tiu Huang as if he wanted to fight. As he walked, he said, "No matter how strong the opponent's power is." Vin Dong saw So Tran and turned around. "What? That idiot dares to come to our door." Tong Nian was surprised when he appeared. So Tran. Vin Dong was very determined. He raised his club and rushed towards him. "Even if I get hurt, even if I have to start over, so what? Haha, go die." So Tran was ready to fight back. "If you're a man, you have to act like a man. Throw your fist at me." Both Tong Nian and Yi Tiu Huang turned around and looked. They were all surprised at So Tran's actions. He punched Vin Dong straight in the stomach. Vin Dong didn't even have time to react before he took So Tran's punch. So Tran decided to fight without any regrets. Blood spurted from Vin Dong's mouth. He couldn't believe that So Tran's punch was so powerful. Tong Nian, Yi Tiu Huang, and Tong Tu couldn't believe their eyes. So Tran was able to punch Vin Dong and make him fall like that. One punch sent Vin Dong flying backwards and falling to the ground in pain. He turned to look at Yi Tiu Huang, breaking his wrist bone. His eyes were full of determination. "Yi Tiu Huang, it's your turn." Yi Tiu Huang on the other side laughed mockingly. "Haha, So Tran, you're crazy." The two of them faced each other and talked. "You think this makes you look great? It's very difficult. Your Tong family barely managed to appease Vin Dong. You're determined to sabotage the three-way cooperation that the Tong family considers their lifeline. Those with discerning eyes can see that the Tong family can only develop by clinging to my Yi family. Now you've completely angered the Vin family. When the Vin family is angry and punishes them, the Tong family will have no choice but to beg me for help. Do you dare to attack me again?" He pointed at So Tran. "I advise you to quickly kneel down and agree to divorce Tong Nian. Then I'll be merciful and tell Mr. Vin to forgive you. Otherwise, you'll have no choice but to die." Before he could finish, he took a powerful punch from So Tran. Bop! Several of his teeth slowly fell out. So Tran punched him and said, "Highs, how can such trash talk so much?" Yi Tiu Huang took another punch. "Trash should stay in the trash can." So Tran continued. As he spoke, he brought the trash can closer to Yi Tiu Huang. "But it seems you don't know which trash can to lie in. Well then, let me take you home." He picked up the trash can and walked towards Yi Tiu Huang. He was scared and backed away, speechless. So Tran, what are you trying to do? I advise you to protect yourself. Otherwise." Before he could finish, So Tran covered Yi Tiu Huang with the trash can. "Shut up." At this moment, Yi Tiu Huang seemed to have lost consciousness. He slowly fell to the ground. Rumble. So Tran calmly put his hands in his pockets. He put his foot on the trash can and pushed it away. Whoosh. Finally, the world is peaceful. He put his foot on the trash can. "Where should I put this?" Yi Tiu Huang was unconscious in the trash can. Clack. Whoosh. He took off Yi Tiu Huang's pants. Tong Nian walked over, not understanding his actions. "So Tran, what are you doing?" She came over and stopped him. "Didn't I tell you not to fight? Now you've completely angered the two families. You're done for." So Tran took out the money from Yi Tiu Huang's pockets. He replied to Tong Nian, "What are you talking about? I didn't fight." He gave the money to Tong Nian. "I just unilaterally attacked them. I was just trying to get the money for the car repair too." His face seemed like nothing had happened, and he gave a kind smile. Tong Nian was surprised at his actions. "Are you still the same So Tran?" In her mind, she thought, "This is the first time I've seen him make excuses in 5 years." She quickly took his hand. "Highs, I don't know what to say to you. Let's go." So Tran ran after Tong Nian, not forgetting Tong Tu. But Tong Tu is still watching from over there. "Xiao Tu, come here quickly." Tong Tu finally dared to step out, right here. All three of them got in the car and drove off, leaving Yi Tiu Huang and Vin Dong unconscious there. Night slowly fell. In the car, Tong Nian said to him, "So Tran, get out of the city immediately." So Tran was still focused on counting the money he had taken from Yi Tiu Huang. Tong Nian continued, "From now on, you have to be a good person outside. Don't let people find out, okay?" So Tran replied, "No need to go home. Besides, I'm actually very kind." Tong Tu, who was driving, turned around and said, "Are you dreaming? The Tong family can't protect you now. Unless this gets out, even if Mr. Yi's people don't deal with you, my dad will take care of you. Tong Nian worriedly added, that's right, So Tran. Xiao Tu is right. He was still counting the money and replied, you didn't think carefully. He continued, for example, if you get beaten up, and even a fool beats you up so badly that you can't even pick up your teeth, would you spread it around? Tong Nian and Tong Tu were both surprised by So Tran's words. So Tran laughed and said, something so embarrassing, they'll definitely keep it to themselves forever. I guess even their subordinates wouldn't dare to talk about it. Besides, our dad promised me a day. He continued, even if the two of you take me out of the city, I can still go back myself. Tong Nian looked at him helplessly. So Tran continued, after all, Mr. Shaw made an appointment to meet me at the Tong family tomorrow. He put his hand on his head and leaned back in the seat. I'm not a person who breaks appointments. Xiao Tu, hearing this, suspected So Tran. This kind of thinking, this kind of logic. Is this really So Tran? Tong Tu said helplessly to Tong Nian, forget it, sister. Tong Tu continued to drive the car, let's go home. Tong Tu continued, this guy said he'd go back even if we took him away. Since he's going back anyway, why not just go back now? Tong Tu boldly declared, at most, I'll protect him from now on. So Tran heard this and thought to himself, I need your protection? Tong Nian reluctantly agreed, okay. So Tran, in the car, said to Tong Tu, that's right, Xiao Tu. We're going home. Call your dad and tell him we're safe. Tong Tu agreed, okay. At the Tong family home at this time, someone asked, Dad, why did you call him? Tong Ta Yang held his head and said, second uncle, you went to tell the head of the family. So Tran caused trouble at the party. Tong Ta Yang seemed tired. Highs, these past 5 years, it was very difficult. We were finally able to rely on So Tran's luck to settle in the position of the head of the family. But the head of the family felt that you caused a lot of trouble tonight. He wants to tell you to give the position to second uncle. Tong Yun, the eldest daughter of the Tong family, said, what? If we let second uncle be the head of the family, we'll be done for. Tong Jane, the second daughter of the Tong family, added, that's right. Second uncle's business is doing well now. If he gets this, we'll be suppressed. Lin Shinping tore his hair out in frustration. Oh my god, if that happens, I'll definitely be the most miserable one who gets suppressed. That bastard, So Tran. Tong Ta Yang shouted, alright, don't get angry. Fortunately, Mr. Yi helped us and told us to get rid of So Tran to appease Mr. Vin. For now, thanks to the three-way cooperation, we can still suppress second uncle. The head of the family will still agree to let you continue to be the head of the family. Tong Yun sighed in relief. Phew, that's good. It seems that So Tran's death was worth it. Tong Jing also smiled and said, it's not necessary to kill So Tran. Tong Ta Yang said, the more tragically he dies, the more likely it is to make Mr. Vin less angry. Just as he finished speaking, the phone rang. Tong Ta Yang answered the phone. Allo, Xiao Tu, are you back? Xiao Tu, over here. Allo, Dad. Tong Ta Yang said, yes, it's good that they're back home safely. In a moment, Dad. Before he could finish, he realized something. Wait a minute. Tong Ta Yang broke out in a cold sweat. Son, what are you saying? Tong Ta Yang listened to the phone. Tong Yun saw this and asked, Dad, what's wrong? Tong Ta Yang's face was both angry and frightened. Xiao Tu said So Tran, So Tran's car also returned to the Tong family home. We're back. Tong Nyan's face looked very worried. Everyone in the Tong family stepped out, their faces full of fear. How is that possible? Get out of the car. Tong Tu was holding the phone and thought, why do I feel a cold shiver down my spine after calling my dad? Tong Tu seemed to remember something. Wait a minute, I think I remember Dad said. If So Tran can return home safely during this time, I will personally greet him and clear his name. Tong Tu finally remembered. So it turns out So Tran was teasing me. He did it on purpose, right? He even told me to call and report back first. Wasn't he just pretending to report to Dad? He imagined himself sitting on the chair talking to his dad. That's right, your good son-in-law is back. He's slapping your face. You should go out and greet him properly. He's a really good son. Tong Tu realized that he was done for. The three of them were standing by the door. Tong Nyan worriedly turned back and asked Xiao Tu, what's wrong with you? Xiao Tu was huddled in a corner, holding his head with his hands, trembling constantly, and repeatedly saying, I'm in love, I'm done for. A foot appeared. Tong Ta Yang, along with his family members, was incredibly angry and called out So Tran's name. When he walked out and opened the door, he gave a forced smile and said, "Welcome back." Seeing Tong Ta Yang's expression, Xiao Tu was horrified. "It's over." Seeing his father's reluctant expression, he was afraid he was going to get beaten up. Tong Nian was also quite surprised. She said, "I remember now. So Tran, you dared to." So Tran gave a sincere smile and asked back, "Huh? What?" He pretended to be innocent and asked the two of them, "Why are you looking at me like that?" Xiao Tu was so scared that he turned into a lump of something. Tong Nian couldn't speak and secretly thought, "He's definitely doing it on purpose. He's definitely doing it on purpose." So Tran turned to Lin Shinping, making him jump. "Oh, brother, you're here? Did you prepare the tea for me?" So Tran's words were like a bolt from the blue, making Tong Nian and Xiao Tu horrified. "So Tran, are you trying to go to heaven? Telling your father-in-law to welcome him back is one thing, but you're also asking your elder brother to pour tea?" Xiao Tu remembered that his elder brother had said he would personally pour tea if So Tran returned. But usually, his elder brother looked down on So Tran. How could he? But in reality, he was pouring tea, a cup of hot tea being poured. Brother-in-law. Not only that, he held the tea with both hands and brought it in front of So Tran, reluctantly saying, "Please, please, have some tea." So Tran happily took it. "Wow, thank you, brother." Seeing this action, Xiao Tu and Tong Nian's faces turned pale and they cried out, "Oh my god, he really poured it. Is there no law in this world? This is too crazy." Lin Shinping gritted his teeth in anger and cursed in his heart, "Damn it. Dad personally went out to welcome So Tran. How could I not pour tea?" So Tran, on the other hand, was enjoying the tea and praising his elder brother, "You're so good." Tong Ta Yang angrily turned back and looked at Xiao Tu, yelling, "Xiao Tu, didn't I tell you to protect Nian Nian? Didn't you save So Tran?" Hearing this, both Zhou Jian and Lin Shinping turned back and criticized Xiao Tu. "That's right, Xiao Tu. Why did you save him? You haven't seen enough of So Tran causing trouble for our family?" Xiao Tu didn't dare to argue, thinking, "It's over. Finally, it's time for me to be settled." Seeing her younger brother in danger, Tong Nian quickly defended him. "I know it's hard to believe that So Tran is back, but it really has nothing to do with Xiao Tu." Xiao Tu also added, "That's right, I was just protecting my sister." So Tran himself cut off the tails of the Vindu restaurant's people and then came back with us. Tong Ta Yang found this unreasonable and angrily slammed his hand on the table, yelling, "Nonsense. You think I'll believe that nonsense? The entire city's Vindu restaurants are working together and they can't catch an idiot? I see you want to be punished. Bring the whip here." Xiao Tu breathed a sigh of relief. Fortunately, Dad really doesn't know about Yi Tiu Huang being beaten up. Otherwise, it wouldn't just be a simple punishment. The whip was brought out, making So Tran, who was eating snacks and drinking tea, also surprised. Tong Ta Yang picked up the whip and called out Xiao Tu's name loudly. He swung the whip hard and admonished, "You must remember tonight." Suddenly, So Tran stepped forward and stopped him. "Wait a minute. You say a tiger doesn't eat its young. Xiao Tu is still young. How could you bear to beat him to death?" Tu Yu Han, hearing this, angrily said back to So Tran, "This is just a normal family punishment. It won't kill anyone." Tong Ta Yang also gritted his teeth and asked back, "Beat him to death?" Lin Shinping laughed mockingly, "Haha, very good, very good. I haven't seen anyone dare to interrupt family discipline in so many years." Zhou Jian also added, "This is clearly rebellious. So Tran obviously wants to die." Seeing the tense situation, Tong Nian stepped forward and said to So Tran, "Hurry up and step back." Xiao Tu also said, "Get back, don't make things embarrassing anymore. It's just a whipping." Tong Ta Yang angrily yelled, "HMPH, he's rebelled." He swung the whip hard, intending to hit So Tran. "I see So Tran has really rebelled. Nian Nian, don't protect him. You're bold enough to interfere with family discipline. I see you want to be punished, too." Nian Nian saw that her father was incredibly angry and had no intention of stopping, so she used her body to protect So Tran. Suddenly, the whip was knocked away with force, falling to the ground, dropping sharp needles. Tong Ta Yang was astonished. So Tran said, "Look, if you didn't want to beat Xiao Tu to death, why are there so many needles on the whip?" Hearing So Tran's words, everyone turned their attention to the sharp needles scattered around the whip. Xiao Tu was horrified. He sat down on the ground and then questioned Tong Ta Yang, "Dad, why are there so many needles on the whip?" Didn't you want to really beat me to death? He was also astonished and cursed, damn it. How did this happen? Tu Yu-han, worried about her son, also came closer and asked, why are there so many needles on this whip? Did someone want to hurt Xiao Tu? Tong Ta-yang angrily turned and asked Tong No-hai, you were watching this whip, weren't you? He was scared and replied, head of the family, I don't know. This whip has always been kept in your study. I just went to get it. Tong Ta-yang glared, clenched his fist, and asked, you mean the culprit is me? A single, I don't know, could have almost harmed my son. You're going to be punished. Hearing this, Tong No-hai was terrified and turned pale. Lin Shinping spoke, Father, I think So Tran is suspicious. He pointed at So Tran and asked, why can't anyone else see the needles, but an idiot like him can? It's very possible that he hid the needles on the whip, you know? Hearing these groundless accusations about So Tran laughed, haha, are you all blind? Not only did I see the needles on the whip, but I also saw poison on it. Tong Ta-yang was astonished and asked back, what? Poison? Lin Shinping mocked him, HMPH, I think you've lost your mind. Could someone really dare to kill Xiao Tu in front of us? Tu Yu-han and her daughter, Tong Jing, also refuted So Tran's words. Our Xiao Tu doesn't have many enemies outside like you do. That's right, Tong Ta-yang yelled, enough. It's better to believe that there is something than nothing. Then he handed the whip to Tong No-hai and said, take this whip to Dao Chang Ching Feng and see what he says. Dao Chang Ching Feng is a disciple of Dao Chang Zhang. He should know if there's poison on the needles. He immediately took the whip and replied, yes. After a while, he hurriedly returned. Dad, Dao Chang Ching Feng looked at it. He said that there is indeed poison on the needles, and it's very potent. Tong Ta-yang was astonished when he heard this and asked back, what? Then his face turned pale and he slumped back in his chair, stunned. So it wasn't someone trying to hurt Xiao Tu. They wanted to use my hands to kill him. Who could be so cruel? Lin Shinping, seeing this, also asked, Dad, So Tran saw the needles, that's fine. But how could he see the poison? Tu Yu-han also chimed in, that's right. I think there's a 90% chance he's involved. Zhou Jian also yelled, I think he's the one who poisoned Xiao Tu. Dad, quickly arrest So Tran and torture him. We'll definitely find out the truth. Hearing these groundless accusations against So Tran, Tong Nian was shaking with anger, you guys. So Tran remained calm, holding his teacup, and said nothing. At this moment, Tong Ta-yang yelled, enough. This has nothing to do with So Tran. This made everyone incredibly surprised. He sighed and said, if So Tran hadn't pointed it out, Xiao Tu would be dead. You guys really don't know a good person when you see one. Then he turned and left, saying, dismissed. Despite everyone's dissatisfaction, So Tran stood up and stretched, saying, thank you, Dad. Tong Jing said to Lin Shinping, let's go. Go. He was still angry and said back, that idiot was lucky. At this time, Tong Tu looked at So Tran and called him, brother-in-law. He immediately knelt down and said, thank you, which made everyone present astonished. Tong Tu was moved to tears. I don't know how you did it, but thank you for saving my life. For the past 5 years, I've been disrespectful to you. I want to apologize to you. Lin Shinping held his head, couldn't believe his eyes, and thought, what? Tong Tu is. So Tran happily helped Tong Tu up and said, it's nothing. We're all family. That night, Tong Ta-yang sat down and talked to Tong Tu. Xiao Tu, you're not angry with Dad tonight, are you? Tong Tu happily replied, it's nothing, Dad. I know for sure that someone else wanted to hurt me. Tong Ta-yang sighed, Haze, Dad was also at fault. But there's something I want to ask you. Tell Dad honestly, how did So Tran return? It's impossible for him to return so easily with the Vin Dong's power. You must tell Dad the truth. Hearing this, Tong Tu was a bit hesitant and asked back, Dad, this story is pretty exciting. I have to ask you first. Do you have high blood pressure or a heart attack? This question made Tong Ta-yang puff out smoke from his head. He stood up and said loudly, HMPH, what's going on? Have you never seen anything before? Just tell me quickly. This made Tong Tu scared. Alright, cough, cough, the thing is. At that time, even though I could easily save my sister, my brother-in-law politely stepped forward and fought Mr. Vin first. Tong Tu told the story, becoming a storyteller, he was really cool. Then he punched him in the stomach, knocked Mr. Vin down. Dad, guess what happened? He saw that Yi Tiu Huang couldn't do anything. My brother-in-law went crazy and cursed at him. But my brother-in-law didn't care and said, if heaven had not given birth to So Tran, I would be as heroic as the long night forever. Hearing this, Tong Ta-yang was so angry that he trembled. Tong Tu, unaware of this, continued to recount. Then my brother-in-law took a trash can by the side of the road, dumped all the trash out, and stuffed Yi Tiu Huang into it. He was angry and crushed the teacup in his hand to pieces. Yi Tiu Huang fainted on the spot. Damn it, so cool. Tong Ta-yang's eyes widened, his mouth hung open, and he shouted, ah. He even beat up Yi Tiu Huang. Tong Ta-yang, at that time, was not only scared enough to get high blood pressure and a heart attack, but he even had a pulmonary embolism. Tong Nyan's mother, startled, asked her daughter, what? Nyan, your dad said you beat up Mr. Yi? She wiped her tears and lamented, oh my god, you made a big mistake. You've offended the Yi family. Wait until they cancel the three-way cooperation. Your father will have to give up his position. Tong Nyan felt guilty, lowered her head and said nothing. She angrily turned around and said, Mom will prepare a new divorce agreement tonight. Tomorrow, just sign it in front of Mr. Yi, then kick So Tran out. Maybe you can still save the situation. Hearing this, Tong Nyan hurriedly called out, Mom. So Tran, from somewhere, appeared with a bright smile. Wife, don't worry. Isn't it just a three-way cooperation? He confidently said to Tong Nyan, tomorrow, I'll get the cooperation with the Shaw family. They are better than the broken cooperation with the Vin and Yi families. I'll give the family a satisfactory explanation. Tong Nyan was surprised and turned to ask So Tran, are you telling the truth? I know. Did you recover? She thought. All of So Tran's actions tonight were no different from a normal person. He must be better. Responding to Tong Nyan, So Tran confirmed, yes, 5 years later, I'm healthy. Hearing this, Tong Nyan was very happy, sure enough. Then do you remember where your home is? So Tran put on a thoughtful expression and replied, yes, my home. It's been 5 years. You're asking me now, I'm a bit fuzzy. Tong Nyan comforted him, don't rush, take your time to think. If you know where So Tran's home is, I can take you back. That way, you won't have to worry about no one taking care of you. Suddenly, So Tran said, oh, I remember. This made Tong Nyan jump and ask. So Chen excitedly continued, my family in the capital is the So family, the top family in Huaxia. What's more, I have 9 masters, they are all very good. They can do anything, even teach me the art of Qi Men. So Chen boasted, putting on a conceited look, making Song Yan sigh helplessly. She thought she had overestimated him. His illness was not only not cured but worse. Forget it, So Chen, tell me about your feelings in the past 5 years. He asked hesitantly, my feelings in the past 5 years? Well, I think the biggest feeling I have is. Song Yan thought to herself, So Chen has been living in the Song family for the past 5 years, he can't express his feelings. He must have suffered so much humiliation, pain and indifference, he must want to find someone to express himself to. After all, these past years, there's only me. Suddenly, So Chen pointed at Song Yan and accused, my wife occupies the toilet without using it. I've been living next to a good white radish like you for 5 years, and you don't know how to take advantage of it. Song Yan was furious and threw things at him. Who are you calling a pig? You only gave an example of a monkey. You are the stupid pig. After teasing Song Yan, So Chen was hit on the head. He laughed and said, ha ha, I'm going to bed first, wife. Song Yan looked at him and thought, this guy is really bold, he dares to talk nonsense in front of me. Early the next morning, Song Shu went out to practice lion dancing. So Chen was brushing his teeth and talking to Xiao Shu. Why are you so excited about lion dancing after what happened last night? Xiao Shu answered, no, brother-in-law, I'm helping our family. It's only 5 days until the opening of the Jintan city. If I can win the lion dance competition during the ceremony, maybe I can solve the problem of our family's dependence on the three-way cooperation. So Chen continued brushing his teeth and asked, oh, you mean lion dancing can solve everything? You're crazy. Song Shu laughed and said, no, brother-in-law, why don't you finish brushing your teeth first? Actually, the Jintan City Festival is the 80th birthday of the Huang family's patriarch. The Huang family is the richest family in Xi'an City, even richer than the Yi family. The lion dance is something the Huang patriarch really likes. If we can win the lion dance competition, and be valued by the Huang patriarch, it will be like a fish leaping over the dragon gate. A huge honor and benefit to our family. But right now, all the big families in the city are preparing for this, and the strong lion dance teams are countless. It's unlikely I can win the championship. Even after all this practice, it's difficult to achieve perfection. So Chen rinsed his mouth and asked, "Glug glug, who said that? Isn't it just about catching a ball?" Then, he spat out the rinsing water into a big ball, shooting it straight ahead, PFFT. He made the ball hang on the pillar and then it exploded. Song Shu looked up in amazement. He was extremely surprised. "Wow, brother-in-law, were you a pea shooter in your previous life?" So Chen modestly replied, "I don't know about being a pea shooter. But I feel I'm my wife's slave. I've already benefited so much. If I can help Xiao Shu win the championship, my wife will definitely be happy." Song Ta Yang ordered, "Get me dressed up." He stood with his hands on his hips and reminded everyone, "Yi Xiao will be here soon. We must greet him with the utmost formality." Lin Xinping said, "Dad, look." Song Yan appeared wearing a short skirt. The outfit was inappropriate. She asked, "Dad, what did you call me here for?" Song Ta Yang and Tuo Yu Han were shocked and horrified when they saw Song Yan's outfit. Yan, what are you wearing? Are you making trouble? Didn't your father tell you last night that Yi Xiao would come to pick you up? Go change into a ball gown right now. Yi Xiao will be here soon. So Chen appeared and said, "It's not necessary," which made everyone look at him. So Chen said confidently, "Today, Yi Xiao won't come to see us. Only Xiao Xia will come to find us." Song Ta Yang angrily yelled at So Chen, "What nonsense? You're wearing this? Are you crazy? Waiting for Yi Xiao to come see you like this? Are you deliberately trying to make Yi Xiao angry to death?" Tuo Yu Han stood behind him and put her hand on her head helplessly. "Oh, I'm about to have a stroke." So Chen remained calm and replied, "Believe it or not, but I'm telling you, Xiao Xia will come. He doesn't like these kind of bland and pompous events like yours. I think it's because I beat Song Xing, so Xiao Xia likes me. He is definitely a free and easy person." Seeing this, Lin Xinping also spoke up, "So Chen, don't be so arrogant. Yi Xiao is a person of his word in the business world. He said he would come today. He will definitely come today." Chu Jian also added, "That's right. Moreover, Yi Xiao said that his Xiao Xia wouldn't come." Song Yun also chimed in, "The matter of the golden poison last night still hasn't been investigated clearly. If you're alright, So Chen, quickly sign the divorce papers and get out." Song Yan heard what her sisters and brother-in-law said, and she angrily gritted her teeth. Last night, So Chen saved Xiao Shu's life. You are all ungrateful. I'm telling you again, I won't accept Yi Xiao. Both Song Yun and Song Xing went close to Song Yan and persuaded her, "Little sister, you are too young. Once you taste the sweetness of Yi Xiao, you'll definitely change your mind." So Chen stood behind them, arms crossed, thinking contemptuously, HMPH, a simple serve and Yi Xiao couldn't even handle it. He calls himself a man? Song Hai Nio appeared, panicked and said loudly, "He's here. He's here. I saw Yi Xiao's car coming. His butt was swollen from being punished." Song Ta Yang and his wife heard this and excitedly asked, "Really? Great. Yi Xiao is willing to come. He must not hate us anymore. Maybe the relationship between us and the Yi Ying family can still be saved." Both Chu Jian and Lin Xinping also said smugly, HMPH, "So Chen, Yi Xiao's car is here now. You still confidently said he wouldn't come? Your face must be swollen, right So Chen?" So Chen remained confident and asked, "Really? Let me see who it is." The whole Song family, dressed in their best clothes, ran out to greet them. Song Ta Yang urged everyone, "Get ready to greet Yi Xiao." A pair of slippers stuck out from the car. Not necessarily, "Oh my god, what are you guys doing?" "I'm just making a trip." Xiao Xia appeared in a free and easy manner, with half a watermelon in his hand, and asked with his mouth full, "Why are you all so formal? You guys all look like clowns, so embarrassing." They were stunned for a few seconds. "What? Why did Xiao Xia get out of Yi Xiao's car?" Song Ta Yang walked over and asked, "Xiao Xia, why are you in Yi Xiao's car?" He thought to himself, "What's going on?" So Chen even got it right, and he's wearing clothes that look exactly like So Chen's. Hearing the question, Xiao Xia held his stomach and laughed, "Haha, you guys don't know, I just left Yi Xiao's house. His face is swollen like a pig's head, he can't come here. So he sent me over." At this time, So Chen also spoke up, "Look, I told you Yi Xiao is a man of his word, he can't come." "Brother-in-law, why are you still so foolish to believe him?" He made the two brothers-in-law speechless. At this time, Song Hai Nio hurriedly announced, old master, the old man called, He wants to invite Xiao Sha to the old house for a visit. Song Ta-yong was surprised and asked, "What? Xiao Sha's arrival has alerted the old man?" Song Lao, who had been living in the old house of the Song family all year round and not caring about the world, was actually the true power holder of the Song family. Song Ta-yong was just a representative, the head of the family. Now that Xiao Sha has come, it has even shaken this old man. It seems that helping his wife to get a cooperation with the Sha family is necessary. Xiao Sha went over to So Chen and asked, "Song Lao wants to see me?" "So Chen, take me there. You're the only one who's dressed decently." So Chen immediately agreed. "Haha, Xiao Sha, please." This made So Chen's two brothers-in-law furious. They clenched their teeth and wanted to kill him. Then they complained to Song Ta-yong, "Dad, don't let him go. I'm afraid he will beat up Xiao Sha too." "That's right, if we anger the Sha family even more, we'll be in trouble." Song Ta-yong helplessly said, "Don't stop him, let him go." They were surprised and asked, "Why?" Song Ta-yong explained, "Yi Xiao's car came, but Yi Xiao didn't. It's clear that Yi Xiao has sent a signal of resentment towards us. Then the three-way cooperation will probably not be possible anymore. Now, for the future of the Song family, even if it's a long shot, we can only rely on So Chen to secure the cooperation with the Sha family." After finishing, Song Ta-yong turned around and said, "Let's go." The two sons-in-law still didn't believe it. Chu Jian was angry and threw the banner to the ground, cursing, "Damn it. This idiot is lucky." In the Song family's old house, there were lively conversations. "Haha, I was just worried about the calligraphy collection of the Huang family. I heard that Xiao Sha from Yang City suddenly came to visit, so I had to invite him to my house right away. This is the true power holder of the Song family, Song Chongqing." Xiao Sha heard this and smiled. "Haha, old Master Song, you are being polite. The Huang family's birthday celebration is truly lively. Everywhere I go, people are busy preparing for it." Song Chongqing asked, "Xiao Sha, do you often write calligraphy? Can you tell me what you think of this piece of calligraphy?" "Of course, in Yang City. I'm called the calligraphy god." He looked at the old man's calligraphy and evaluated it. The writing is strong and powerful, with an auspicious and blessed aura. I think it's very good." The old man raised the calligraphy in front of him and said politely, "Xiao Sha, you are too kind, this calligraphy." He tore the calligraphy in half right in front of Xiao Sha, making him surprised. "Huh?" The old man said, "Right now, old Master Huang is collecting calligraphy from all over Xi'an City, to be selected by a big tree that covers the sky like the Huang family." He said with frustration as he crumpled up his calligraphy, "Countless calligraphy talents have submitted their masterpieces. With my skills, I'm far behind those monsters." His words made Xiao Sha's jaw drop in surprise. "You mean such beautiful calligraphy isn't good enough? What does it take to be good?" Song Chongqing continued, "Xiao Sha, you said you are called the calligraphy god in Yang City. So, for this calligraphy collection of the Huang family, this old man dares to ask you for a piece of calligraphy, because it might save the current situation of the Song family." As he spoke, he knelt down in front of Xiao Sha. This action surprised Xiao Sha, his face turned pale, and he quickly helped the old man up. No need for that, old master, please get up, I can't accept it." The old man kept crying and begging, "No, Xiao Sha is the calligraphy god. If the calligraphy god doesn't agree, these old bones won't get up. If I don't get selected in this calligraphy collection, I won't be able to live peacefully." Xiao Sha stammered, unable to speak. He was caught between a rock and a hard place. He couldn't refuse, but he couldn't accept either. "No, I was just bragging. You old man thought it was real?" The old man refused to get up and continued to cry and whine, making him helplessly agree. All right, I agree, okay? You agree? Great." The old man immediately stood up, as fast as a bullet, and even changed his attitude to cheerful and enthusiastic. "A big figure like you wouldn't go back on your word, right? You are truly a good person, Xiao Sha." He looked at the old man in disbelief and thought, "You stood up so fast, are you faking it? It seems I've been tricked." He scratched his head awkwardly and said, "All right, old master, please go out first. Tell So Chen to come in and talk to me." "All right, while I talk to him." "Damn it, this old fox is intentionally taking advantage of my age." Song Chongqing immediately agreed. "All right, I'll leave it to you, Xiao Sha." He went out and told So Chen, "Haha, So Chen, come in. Xiao Sha is looking for you." "Yes, sir." The two brothers-in-law outside were stunned and dumbfounded. Damn it, Xiao Sha really wants to see him? What kind of lucky dog's luck did this idiot get? So Chen opened the door and walked in, greeting Xiao Sha. Xiao Sha, you finally came. I just bragged in front of the old man. Now he asked me to write calligraphy for him. Huh, quickly take a look and tell me what you think. So Chen walked closer and complimented. I didn't expect Xiao Sha to be so handsome and polite, and to have such calligraphy skills. I had to appreciate it carefully. So Chen looked at the calligraphy Xiao Sha had just finished, his face turned pale. The calligraphy was messy, like a worm. It wasn't calligraphy at all. He could only decipher it as happy birthday to the old master. Xiao Sha asked impatiently and confidently, what do you think? It's not bad, right? So Chen sweatily replied, you call this not bad? Then So Chen made a suggestion. Xiao Sha, why don't I write it? Just tell him later that you wrote it. He was surprised and asked, huh? You know how to write? No, I mean, what's your skill level? Are you better than me? So Chen replied modestly, not bad. After all, I learned calligraphy from a teacher who is known as the calligraphy immortal. Xiao Sha's eyes lit up in surprise, really? Then I'll leave it to you, brother. So Chen confidently replied, sure, haha, although I'm lacking in other aspects, my eye for people is spot on. Xiao Sha recalled that yesterday he paid attention to So Chen because he discovered that he wasn't actually a fool. On the contrary, he felt that So Chen was like a cunning fox hiding his talents, with the bearing of a great general. He has a rare temperament and always has extraordinary talents. Even if he suddenly said he could write, I didn't find it too strange. After all, he is someone I value. While Xiao Sha was lost in thought, So Chen was focusing on writing calligraphy. He only heard a few swishes of his brush. Then, he happily said, I'm done. Xiao Sha was quite satisfied and said, let me take a look. After looking at So Chen's calligraphy, Xiao Sha was stunned, completely baffled. So Chen stood beside him and asked, what do you think? It's beautiful, right? So Chen's calligraphy scared Xiao Sha. Damn it, what kind of cow wrote this? It feels even worse than mine. I've mistaken the wrong person. Old Master Son outside impatiently knocked on the door. Knock knock, Xiao Sha, have you finished writing? My old man is eagerly waiting for your masterpiece. Xiao Sha panicked and answered, wait a moment. Xiao Sha trembled, thinking, if I give him the calligraphy So Chen wrote, I'll lose face. I had to quickly write another one. But before he could write, So Chen opened the door and invited the old man in. It's done, old master, Xiao Sha finished writing a long time ago. Come in quickly. Song Chongqing stroked his beard and said, okay, I've been waiting anxiously. This happened so quickly that Xiao Sha was startled and dropped his pen. The old man walked closer and asked, haha, Xiao Sha, quickly let me admire your masterpiece. Xiao Sha secretly hid it behind his back and nervously laughed. Haha, I wouldn't dare, I wouldn't dare. You monkey So Chen, why did you bring this old ghost in here? Get out of the way, hide So Chen's calligraphy first, then take out my nice calligraphy. Although there are some spelling errors, it's still better than So Chen's. Now, raise my left hand. He was about to raise his left hand to show the old man his calligraphy, but So Chen played a trick and raised his right hand. So Chen happily said, take a look, old master, it's this one. The old man looked at the calligraphy and was amazed. Xiao Sha was shocked and covered his face. Oh my god, he took the wrong one, this bastard So Chen. I'm finished. I won't have any face to stay in Xi'an City anymore. I have to go back to Yang City tonight. The old man was surprised and exclaimed, oh, this. The old man was amazed and praised, oh, this calligraphy is beautiful. It's no wonder you are called the calligraphy god. I've never seen such beautiful calligraphy from someone so young. It's perfect. The old man said, picking up the calligraphy, his eyes filled with emotion, 2 tears rolling down his cheeks. Even Xiao Sha was surprised. What? This is beautiful? It's not even as beautiful as mine. The old man continued to admire it and kept praising, it's definitely beautiful. Oh, Xiao Sha, you're too modest to call yourself the calligraphy god. Look here, it says, Huang Du Ba Yi, Le Chang. It's better than Ren Shi Chu Biyu, Kun Sei. Quote, the word Huang has the same pronunciation as the word head. It also coincides with the ambition of old Master Huang. Moreover, it uses a kind of writing that those who are illiterate won't understand. Old Master Huang really likes this ancient cursive style of writing, taking this to participate in the competition. I believe it has a high chance of winning the favor. After listening to the old man's analysis, Xiao was surprised and asked, "Really? What? Calligraphy like this, even worse than mine, can actually participate in the competition? Confidence from those who are illiterate. Cough, cough, this is the divine. I just scribbled it, just the basic stuff. If old master likes it, you can take it, whatever, it's okay to not lose face." Quickly change the topic. Song Chang happily accepted it. "Thank you, Xiao, for giving me this calligraphy, but you haven't signed your name yet. Why don't I watch you sign it here?" Xiao was surprised and exclaimed, "Huh? Damn it, right again? This old man wants me to lose face today." Xiao felt awkward. Haha, I won't write it. Signing my name means I'm the owner of the calligraphy. Why don't you just let So Chen write it? Actually, I want to give the calligraphy to him. Then, he cleverly made So Chen the target. The old man was surprised. Xiao, are you sure you don't want to give this beautiful calligraphy to me? Xiao immediately replied, Haha, I'm sure. If So Chen writes it, I don't need to reveal my name, and it also shows I'm generous, so clever. Then I'll dare to write it. The old man nervously stood behind and reminded, So Chen, do you know how to write? Write properly. Xiao encouraged, yes, go ahead. I'll write properly. Then, So Chen carefully wrote his name, So Chen, on the calligraphy. The old man looked at So Chen's handwriting and thought, he writes properly, he's also a young man. How come there's such a big difference? Then the calligraphy of the turtle and cow that Xiao hid must have been written by So Chen. Xiao really knows how to care for other people's face. Xiao said, alright, it's not early anymore, let's start discussing the cooperation. The old man was once again surprised. What? Discuss cooperation? Does Xiao really want to discuss cooperation? As he spoke, the old man tactfully dismissed So Chen. Okay, let's discuss it then. So Chen, you're free now, go out first. Xiao heard this and immediately spoke up. No, old master Song, I mean I want to discuss it with So Chen. Would it be a bother for you to go out? This almost gave the old man a heart attack. Then, he blushed awkwardly. Okay, you two discuss it. So it's not about me? I'm the oldest in the Song family. This is so embarrassing. He opened the door and walked out. He was shocked. Song Ta-yang saw this and hurriedly asked, Father, how is it? It seems like Xiao didn't come to discuss cooperation. The old man trembled and answered, No, Xiao is discussing cooperation with So Chen inside, and he even gave So Chen a masterpiece of calligraphy. This time, thanks to So Chen, our Song family has a chance to win the favor of the Huan family in the ceremony. His words made the children very surprised and asked, What? Inside, Xiao said to So Chen, Alright, So Chen, I'm very grateful you gave me face, but I won't easily give you this opportunity to cooperate. Let me make it clear, before I came to the Song family, I went to Yi Xiao's place, and we talked about cooperation. After all, if I had to choose a side to cooperate with, the Yi family is slightly better than the Song family. So Chen also agreed, that's right. Xiao continued, I still have a team at Yi Xiao's house. I told them that if I don't reply to them before 12 o'clock, they will sign the cooperation agreement with the Yi family on my behalf. In other words, your Song family wants to get the cooperation of the Huan family. You only have a few minutes left. Next, I will ask you a few questions. If you answer me to my satisfaction, I will abandon the Yi family and choose to cooperate with the Song family. But if your answer doesn't satisfy me, I can only apologize to the Song family. Outside, Lin Xinping was still angry and jealous. Damn it. Why does Xiao want to discuss cooperation with So Chen? Looking at the way Xiao likes So Chen, he won't randomly cooperate with him, will he? If So Chen gets the cooperation, how can we kick him out of the Song family? If we don't kick So Chen out, his luck will harm us. Song Ta-yang was also sweating profusely. No, Xiao won't randomly choose a side to cooperate with. Although he's called the useless third son in Yang City, it's not because he's lazy and casual. I heard that Xiao likes to ask strange questions to those who want to cooperate. For years, no one has ever answered correctly. Because Xiao is extremely picky about his partners, he's become a useless person in the business world. If it was the old man, who is resourceful and good at negotiation, I think we still have a chance. But this reckless So Chen, the chances of him answering correctly are almost zero. Xiao began to ask, So Chen, I ask you, what if someone steals your credit for a big event? Will you take revenge or endure it? So Chen answered, Haha, if it's fame and fortune, just let them have it, I don't care. Xiao Sha praised, "Oh, you're so generous. Then, if one side is the power of the world and the other side is beautiful women, which would you choose?" So Chen immediately answered, "I will choose the power of the world. I can always sleep next to a beautiful woman." Good answer, but in reality, these two things. How can they become a reality? Give me an answer that satisfies me. Otherwise, our cooperation will have to end here. So Chen started thinking. Outside, Song Ta-yong received a phone call. "Hello, may I ask?" On the other end of the line, Yi Xiao asked, "Haha, old master Song, are you having a good time today?" Song Ta-yong was surprised and asked, Yi Xiao. "I guess Xiao Sha is discussing cooperation with So Chen right now." "Ah, that's right. Old master Song, do you know that Xiao Sha already discussed it with me? I'm about to officially sign the contract with the Sha family. Xiao Sha just went to your place, that's all." Song Ta-yong was shocked and asked, "What? The Sha family has already decided to cooperate with you?" Yi Xiao laughed smugly, "Haha, don't worry, I'll let you know. Later, the Song family will have to fear me. It's not just these things, see you later." Tick, then he hung up the phone. Song Ta-yong was startled and kept calling, Yi Xiao. "Hello, we can still negotiate." The two sons-in-law outside were eavesdropping and anxiously asked, "Father, what's going on?" Song Ta-yong said anxiously and angrily, "It's over. It turns out Yi Xiao has secured the cooperation with the Sha family. So Chen has absolutely no chance. Now, the only way to save the Song family is to marry Song Yan to Yi Xiao." He immediately ordered, "Quickly go get the new divorce agreement. We have to find a way to marry Song Yan to Yi Xiao." Go. The subordinate immediately ran off. Song Yan was also worried and thought, "It seems father is really determined this time. Do I really have to marry the terrible Yi Xiao?" A voice came from inside the room, making them turn around in shock. "Haha, alright, let's decide it this way." Yi Xiao over there was smug. "Haha, the Song family is blind. Wait and see how I punish you." Xiao Sha's people walked in. Yi Xiao, "Oh, Director Sha, it's time, have you signed the contract?" "I've prepared it." He answered, "No, we've decided not to sign it anymore." Xiao Sha suddenly changed his mind. Yi Xiao was stunned. Xiao Sha said, "Considering that you didn't answer my question, but So Chen answered Xiao Sha's question perfectly, so in the future, the Sha family's cooperation in Xi'an City will be handed over to the Song family." On this side, Sha Beixin was very satisfied with the answer of Su Chen. He was so happy that he couldn't stop laughing. "Ha ha ha, good, Su Chen, your answer is very good. From now on, I'll leave all of the cooperation of the Sha family to you and the Song family." What does Yi Xiao Huang do? This sudden change made everyone astonished and bewildered. What? Song Taoyong bent over and asked again, "You're serious, right? You chose to cooperate with Su Chen? You haven't confirmed cooperation with anyone, and you chose our Song family? What's more, you confirmed it with Su Chen. You're not dreaming, are you?" Sha Beixin answered cheerfully, laughing uproariously. "Ha ha, very accurate. Su Chen's answer is very much to my liking. Indeed, it's the best choice in my heart. Remember what happened just now, Su Chen. You said you wanted to rule the world when awake and sleep with beauties. Give me a satisfying answer, otherwise our cooperation will stop here." Su Chen replied, "According to the concept of most people, they use fish and bear paws to represent everything. They use it to wake up the world. When faced with good things, they must know how to give up and choose. But I'm a person who thinks for the world." Su Chen stood up and patted Sha Beixin's shoulder. "If you don't have the ability to have both, what's the fun in playing?" He turned around and asked, "You have the nickname of useless third son in Yang City, right?" Sha Beixin answered in a daze, "That's right." Su Chen pointed at the calligraphy with the words, "the world," and continued, "Come and cooperate with me. I can not only help you achieve great success in the business world, but I can also help you become the #1 young master of Tian Nan, worthy of the name. In other people's dictionary, you can't have both fish and bear paws. But in my dictionary, you can only have both fish and bear paws." Sha Beixin asked, "Why are they the only two things?" Su Chen explained, "Trading is against the law." "Ha ha, he has the ambition to rule the world, but he's still rational and doesn't break the law." No one has ever answered so brilliantly. What do you guys say, is it good? Song Taoyong was shocked and asked, "Why would Su Chen, the #1 young master of Tian Nan, dare to say such arrogant words?" Sha Beixin doesn't find it crazy, but he likes it. What kind of taste is this? Sha Beixin turned around and left, saying, since I've decided on the cooperation, I won't stay anymore. Chu Chen also said, I'll see you off. HMPH, I told you Sha Beixin has a special taste. Of course, we had to treat the illness. Song Taoyang's daughters and sons-in-law didn't know anything. They came with the divorce agreement and said, Dad, the divorce agreement is here. Now, quickly ask Chu Chen to sign it. Dad, you must know that today Chu Chen didn't provoke Sha Beixin, but that doesn't mean he won't in the future. That's right, this guy dared to hit Yi Xiaohuang. For the sake of the family, we should take advantage of this opportunity. Song Taoyang said, you two are right, you're really right. The two sons-in-law thought it was true and laughed gleefully. Dad, I agree. Wait until Chu Chen is kicked out of our house and see if he's still so arrogant. Then, he showed the divorce agreement in front of the two sons-in-law. He saw that Chu Chen had said that the two of them were blind, which was very true, making them bewildered and disbelieving their own eyes. Song Taoyang declared, now, the three-way cooperation between us and the Yi and Rong families is over. Now we only rely on Chu Chen to cooperate with the Sha family and the handwriting your Sha family wrote. If we kick him out now, what do we use to fight against the two families? What do we use to participate in the Golden Dawn ceremony? You're really a bunch of shallow people. You two should go back and reflect. But Dad, what's going on? You're speaking up for Chu Chen? Are we dreaming? On this side, there were continuous sounds of breaking things. Damn it, Chu Chen. It's Chu Chen again. And you too, Song Taoyang. You dare to keep that idiot to get my cooperation. Very good. Because the cooperation with the Sha family failed, Yi Xiaohuang is taking his anger out on objects. He clenched his fist and swore, starting today, I'm officially opposing you, Song Taoyang. I have to let you know, this is Tian City, not the Yang City of the Sha family. At the Song family residence, Song Rani walked out and said, Chu Chen, I've finished talking about the cooperation with the Sha family with Dad and Grandpa. We can go now. Chu Chen happily replied, okay, wife. Chu Chen's two brothers-in-law gritted their teeth in anger. He only got one cooperation deal. Look at him, so arrogant. I curse him to die an uneasy death. Song Rani and Chu Chen were about to leave when they suddenly heard a loud scolding, making them turn around in surprise. You dog, Chu Chen, where are you? You dare to hit my son, and you don't kneel down and apologize? Get out here right now. It turned out to be the second son of old Master Song, Song Muyang, Song Taoyang's younger brother. He was scolding angrily. Following him was his fourth son, Song Kanggang, whose face was swollen from being beaten. Seeing that someone was looking for trouble with Chu Chen, the two brothers-in-law were excited. Good, retribution has come. The second uncle is here to bother Chu Chen. The second uncle is famous for protecting his sons. Chu Chen is sure to be punished. Seeing this, Song Rani reasoned with Song Muyang, second uncle, I've already asked Chu Chen about what happened with Song Kanggang yesterday. At that time, it was Kanggang who provoked him first. Chu Chen was just defending himself. Song Muyang immediately rejected her. HMPH, do you believe the words of an idiot? Chu Chen not only humiliated Kanggang, but he also offended the two families of Rong and Yi, putting our entire family in a difficult position. Now, he's committing crime after crime. I believe that the eldest brother and dad will be fair and punish Chu Chen severely. At this time, Chu Chen stepped forward and spoke up. Second uncle, feel free to ask what punishment you want. I'll accept it all. Song Rani stood beside him, worried and called out his name, Chu Chen. Song Muyang heard this and sarcastically said, oh, don't worry, I'll try to plead for you. Lin Shinping heard this and hurriedly ran over. Hold on, second uncle. Why don't you let the master decide on Chu Chen's punishment himself? Chu Jian also wants Chu Chen to be punished. Chu Chen just got a contract with the Sha family, it's useless to talk to Dad. Just now, we were about to punish Chu Chen, but Dad protected him. He didn't believe it and asked again, HMPH, how is that possible? Normally, the eldest brother and Dad hate Chu Chen. What's more, you always punish Chu Chen according to family law. Could they possibly ignore Kanggang to protect an idiot? Besides, you said that Chu Chen got a contract with the Sha family? That's ridiculous. Wait until I go talk to the eldest brother and dad and see how they deal with Chu Chen. When he arrived, old Master Song confirmed, that's right, Chu Chen did get the Sha family's contract. Is there a problem? At this time, Song Muyang and his son dared to believe. They were shocked and asked again, what? Su Chen really got the contract? Song Taeyang also spoke up for Su Chen. What's more, I think Su Chen is very honest. He wouldn't hit someone without a reason. Old Master Song added, yes, I'm sure it was Kang Gang who provoked him first, and Su Chen was only defending himself. This made the father and son dumbfounded. How is this possible? Su Chen beat someone, it's as clear as day. Why are they protecting him? Not only that, Song Taeyang also turned to reprimand his grandson, Kang Gang. Su Chen is your brother-in-law. He's so honest, why would you bully him? You're truly unfilial. Old Master Song also said, yes, I see that you, Song Muyang, are a father who doesn't know how to discipline his child. Dad, I'll punish the two of you to copy the family rules 10 times. Go back. Hearing the final judgment from the old master, the father and son collapsed to the ground, dejected. In the end, they were the ones who were punished. They returned home, terrified. Their spirit was as low as their initial arrogance. Lin Xinping sighed, I predicted this outcome. Why didn't you listen to my advice? The two of them were unhappy and went home angrily. Su Chen called out to Song Rani, wife. I have something I want to ask you about Song Muyang. He said, and then took Song Ranyi's hand. This made her blush in embarrassment. What? She thought in surprise. Why is he suddenly holding my hand? We're just a couple in name only. Su Chen said, without noticing his own rascal behavior, think carefully. Have the second uncle and dad had any conflicts recently? This was the first time Song Rani had held a man's hand, making her feel awkward. Song Rani softly replied, there's no direct conflict, but the second uncle has always been against dad since they were young. Dad and the second uncle often disagree with each other. Su Chen picked up a cup of tea and enjoyed it. Looks like I'm right. Xiao Shu is the only son of Song Taeyang. If Xiao Shu died, then naturally the next family head would be passed down to Song Muyang's family. Maybe the poison was done by Song Muyang's side. But wife, why is your face so red? Song Ranyi's two older sisters noticed this from afar and asked, third sister, your face is burning. Are you sick? Song Rani blushed in embarrassment and replied, no, I'm not. But in her heart, she thought, why hasn't this guy let go of my hand yet? At Song Kanggang's villa, he was constantly yelling for his mother to avenge him against Su Chen. He was using both his feet and hands to copy the punishment. He had to copy the punishments for himself and his father, but he couldn't stop crying, I must avenge Su Chen. Suddenly, Song Kanggang appeared and comforted him, fourth brother, don't worry. I know about you and dad. Third brother will definitely avenge you. Song Kanggang was overjoyed and ran to his third brother, finally, you're back. Have you learned that thing? He smiled confidently and replied, HMPH, I've apprenticed under a master. Although I've only learned a little, it's enough to deal with ordinary people. Before, there was Taoist Zhang here, so I didn't dare to make a move. But now Taoist Zhang is gone, and that idiot Su Chen dares to be reckless in front of me. He said, and then took out a black bag and shook it constantly inside. He had a sinister smile and said, I'll definitely let that Su Chen taste some pain. It turned out that there was a snake inside the bag. Song Kanggang was happy and excited to see this. Su Chen, I suddenly received a big business deal from the Shaw family. Song Rani was sitting there complaining about a mountain of paperwork. But after I received it, I gave you full authority. Don't you think that's too much? Su Chen was cleaning up and happily said, ha ha, wife, I said I'd use that deal to help you, but I'm completely clueless about business. Wife plows the field, I weave cloth. Wife cooks, I water the plants. So I'll leave these matters to madam. You do your duty, and I'll do mine. Song Rani helplessly rubbed his head and sighed. You're never going to be good at anything besides cleaning up. Can't you do something more practical? Suddenly, there was a loud noise. Su Chen stood motionless, his face serious. Song Rani asked cheerfully, Su Chen, what's wrong? She thought, maybe I've scolded him enough, and he finally wants to do something decent. Su Chen put his hand on his head, took off his hat, and stammered, I. Song Rani was eagerly waiting for him to speak. Finally, Su Chen blurted out, I need to use the bathroom. Song Rani could only hit her head on the table helplessly. She looked at Su Chen and thought, he needs to use the bathroom, but he's acting like this. He's getting more and more unruly. A spirit snake appeared on the ceiling. Su Chen thought, HMPH, I knew it. It's just a petty spirit snake. It dares to attack a descendant of the 9th generation like me? Su Chen immediately used his internal energy to use the yin-yang reverse force technique, feather duster technique. The spirit snake was immediately subdued. Chu Chen immediately grabbed it. HMPH, this snake seems to be from the Black Vu sect. But I seem to have made too many enemies recently. Which blind fool dared to attack me in my wife's room? Outside the room, someone's voice said, "Third Miss, Yi Xiao Huang is here to visit. The master said that you two should come out." Chu Chen thought, maybe it's Yi Xiao Huang. With his strength, he could very well send someone to do this. Alright, let him trip over his own feet. Wife, let's go. We have a distinguished guest to see. Yi Xiao Huang was sitting in front of Song Muyang, talking. The three-way cooperation is about to be handed over to you. Ha ha ha, thank you, Yi Xiao Huang. Song Rani and Chu Chen appeared. Seeing the two of them dejected, they asked with concern, Dad and Mom, what's wrong? Song Taoyang sighed. Yi Xiao Huang deliberately handed over the three-way cooperation to Song Muyang in front of us. It seems that Yi Xiao Huang has decided to support the second son to suppress us. Song Rani was shocked and asked again, to support the second uncle? Yi Xiao Huang thought smugly, HMPH, Song Taoyang, I deliberately gave you the cooperation deal in front of you. You must be regretting it now, right? Chu Chen appeared and waved hello. Good evening, Yi Xiao Huang. Did you sleep well last night? You didn't catch a cold? Hearing Chu Chen say this, Yi Xiao Huang's memories flooded back. Suddenly, he felt suffocated. He fearfully covered his head and said to Song Muyang, let's go into the room. Song Muyang was confused. What? Didn't Yi Xiao Huang say he wanted to discuss this here so that my eldest brother could see? No, it's quieter in the room. Seeing his reaction, Chu Chen chuckled. Look at how startled little Yi is. But it's here now, little tadpole, quickly go back to your mother. The spirit snake crawled out of Chu Chen's trouser leg and hissed. Chu Chen's brothers-in-law and sisters-in-law were extremely frightened. It's over. It seems that Yi Xiao Huang is really supporting the second uncle. The second uncle's business was already developing very well. Now he's gotten this deal. I guess Dad is going to lose his position as head of the family. We'll all be avenged. Chu Chen appeared and reassured everyone, don't worry, didn't I already get the Xia family's contract? The Xia family's cooperation with the Yi family is not on the same level. Lin Xinping heard this and angrily shouted, you idiot, do you think getting the Xia family's contract is enough for a lifetime? The Xia family just arrived. How can they compete with a local snake like Yi Xiao Huang? Chu Chen calmly replied, oh, is that so? It's good enough to make them laugh. Then, he secretly raised his finger. A heart-wrenching scream, made everyone pay attention. Song Kanggang appeared with Song Kanggang, laughing gleefully. Haha, Chu Chen got what he deserved. Third brother just made a move and handled it immediately. Kanggang reminded him, be humble. After all, you come from a prestigious family. The two of them intentionally took out their phones to record the video. This miserable sound, I had to broadcast Chu Chen's dog like howling directly. But after looking carefully at their phones, the two brothers were shocked. It was Yi Xiao Huang and Song Muyang, their father, who were howling miserably. Snake, a snake bit my butt. Unfortunately, they were live streaming, with 38 people watching this embarrassing scene. They were commenting one after another. I think that's Yi Xiao Huang, right? Isn't this Chu Chen? Yi Xiao Huang looks so miserable. At this moment, the two of them were shocked and exclaimed, oh, why is it Yi Xiao Huang? Song Taoyang appeared and asked, what's wrong? Why is Yi Xiao Huang like this? Song Muyang replied, I don't know either. It seems that Yi Xiao Huang was bitten by a snake. Then quickly call an ambulance. The two brothers, Kanggang and Kanggang, were now trembling with fear. It's over. Third brother seems to have bitten the wrong person. Can he detoxify? Kanggang whispered, go and detoxify now? That's like seeking death. But Chu Chen could see through this. What do you think? There's a trace of the Vu technique on that person. I remember Song Kanggang's third brother. His aura is similar to that poisonous snake. Could it be that I misunderstood Yi Xiao Huang? Song Muyang was worried about Yi Xiao Huang. It's over. We can't wait for the ambulance anymore. Does anyone know how to give first aid? Chu Chen took Yi Xiao Huang's shoe and scooped some water from the pond. He said to everyone, don't worry, I know. Song Taoyang was surprised and asked, Chu Chen, why are you taking Yi Xiao Huang's shoe? Chu Chen held the shoe filled with water and replied, don't you know yet? I'm saving him. He then took all the water from the shoe and splashed it directly onto Yi Xiao Huang's face. Song Rani also came over worriedly and reprimanded him. Chu Chen, you're too bold. What are you doing? He explained, "Didn't you ask for first aid?" Both Song Muyang and Song Taoyang criticized Chu Chen's actions. "You call that first aid? I think you want to take revenge on Yi Xiaohuang. What kind of person are you? You seized him and treated him according to family law." At this moment, Yi Xiaohuang coughed and woke up. Yi Xiaohuang woke up and asked, Who saved me?" Cough, cough. Why does my face smell like? Song Taoyang immediately attributed the credit to his son-in-law. Yi Xiaohuang, it was Chu Chen. Song Muyang was furious and said, "Chu Chen used your shoe to scoop up water and splashed it on your face to wake you up." Hearing this, Yi Xiaohuang was shocked and asked again, "What? Chu Chen saved me?" He looked at Chu Chen and thought, "Although I don't know why he saved me, why did he use my shoe? After all, I have foot odor." At this time, he continued to vomit, spitting foam out of his mouth. "It's over. Yi Xiaohuang is spitting foam again. The ambulance is here. Quickly put Yi Xiaohuang on the ambulance." Song Rani covered her nose and asked Chu Chen, "Although you saved Yi Xiaohuang, he's definitely going to hold a grudge against you for doing this. You have to stay home for the time being. If you go out casually, you might die at any moment. Do you understand?" He agreed with Song Rani, "I know." But when he was about to leave, Chu Chen answered a call from Sha Beixin. "Sha Beixin, you're at the Tianhao bar, right? I'm coming to find you." Song Rani was horrified and asked, "Chu Chen, what are you doing? You don't want to go out, do you?" Chu Chen smiled and replied, "That's right. Sha Beixin is waiting for me in the city." Song Rani tried to stop him. "Even if it's Sha Beixin, you can't go out. If you go out, there's a 90% chance you'll die." Chu Chen reassured her, "Don't worry, wife. We just received the Sha family's contract. We have to strike while the iron is hot. I'll call Xiaoshu to drive me there, and I'll be back tonight for sure." Xiaoshu drove the car over and cheerfully waved her hand. "It's okay, sister. I'll protect brother-in-law. It'll be fine." Song Rani thought to herself, "Chu Chen needs you to protect him? I think it's the other way around. He needs to be stopped from harming others." After that, Chu Chen and Xiaoshu got into the supercar and sped off. Xiaoshu didn't forget to tell Song Rani, "Anyway, we're leaving first. Bye, sister." Leaving Song Rani alone, angry at Xiaoshu and Chu Chen, she secretly cursed that hateful Chu Chen. He's getting more and more arrogant. Xiaoshu is also rebelling. The scene shifts to a hospital. From a hospital room, a heart-wrenching scream echoes. "Ah, ah, ah, it hurts. My body hurts so much." Hearing this, Song Muyang anxiously asked the doctor standing beside him, "Doctor, you haven't checked the cause of his illness yet? Is he really faking it?" The person who was screaming was Yi Xiaohuang. He was still in pain and groaning. The doctor helplessly said to Song Muyang, "No, we checked, everything seems normal." Rong Dong, who was injured and wrapped in bandages, was leaning on crutches and walking down the hospital hallway. Hearing the scream, he felt a sense of familiarity. He wondered, that voice, it's... He followed the voice to a patient room. As soon as he stepped into the room, he couldn't help but exclaim in shock, "Yi Xiaohuang? Why are you here? Didn't your injuries not seem as serious as mine?" Yi Xiaohuang was furious, his face pale with anger. He shouted, "It's him again, Chu Chen. Quickly send people to cripple him for me. I want him to live a life worse than death." "Ah, ah, ah." As soon as he finished cursing, he cried out in pain, his whole body trembling. Hearing this, Rong Dong unconsciously covered his nose. His whole body trembled from a disgusting smell. He thought to himself, what? Chu Chen made Yi Xiaohuang hospitalized because of foot odor? Yi Xiaohuang kept yelling, causing the doctor to immediately come over to check on him. Rong Dong clenched his teeth in anger and swore, "Yi Xiaohuang, don't worry. I'll make everyone in the martial arts gym take action. As long as Chu Chen dares to step outside, I'll definitely cripple him, beat him to death." The scene shifts to the Tianhao bar. The music is loud and exciting. Inside a private room at the Tianhao bar, 3 men are with 2 beautiful young women. The green-haired man sits in the middle, holding 2 sticks in his hands. The other 2 men are pouring wine into glasses. They say, "We're having a big win. Cheers." The brown-haired man, Sha Beixin, holds a glass of wine in his hand. He is silent for a moment and then speaks, "Hi, if your old man knew you were using the lion dance competition to gamble, would he be angry?" A voice replies, "Haha, what's there to be afraid of? Don't worry." The person who replied is Huang Yuhai, the young generation of the Huang family. He happily hugs 2 beautiful girls in his arms and replies cheerfully, "A few years ago, I was noticed by a master and learned some skills. Now, my grandfather values me highly. Even if he knew, he wouldn't investigate me." The other man hears this and raises his glass, happily congratulating him. "Then let's celebrate you making a fortune. We'll get a piece of the pie too." Huang Yuhai laughs cheerfully, raises his glass, and says, "Of course." The beautiful girls beside him smile with their eyes closed. Then she rests her chin on Huang Yuhai's shoulder and whispers, "Yuhai, can you let us see the skills you learned from the master?" The other girl also agrees. "Yes, we really want to see." Huang Yuhai smugly replies, "Haha, you ask good questions. If you want to see." As he speaks, he reaches into his chest pocket and tries to take out something, making the two girls very curious as they follow his every move. Huang Yuhai takes out a spirit paper and smiles confidently. "This is spirit paper. As long as you tell me the birth date of someone, I'll write it on this paper, and I can control that person." Then Huang Yuhai jokingly asks, "Who wants to tell me their birth date and destiny?" Both the girls and the young man are stunned and tremble. The girl stutters, this." The blonde young man quickly changes the subject, picks up his glass, and says, "Haha, Yuhai, we should drink instead." As for Sha Beixin, he silently raises his glass, thinking to himself, "HMPH, you're so vague. Who would give you their birth date?" Huang Yuhai raises his glass and drinks it in one gulp. Then, he slams the glass down on the table with a loud bang. He's a little angry. "What? Don't you respect me?" The blonde young man quickly explains, "No, Yuhai, we didn't mean that." As for Sha Beixin, he silently takes a sip of wine and sighs. It's over. Yuhai's habit of showing off in front of women has resurfaced. I guess there's no stopping him. I just hope Chu Chen doesn't come at this time. As soon as he finishes thinking, the door to the VIP room suddenly opens. Chu Chen walks in, raises his hand to greet them, and smiles cheerfully. "Sorry, I'm late." Sha Beixin, who was in the middle of taking a sip of wine, spits it out. Huang Yuhai, who is still holding the two girls, says upon seeing Chu Chen, "Oh, you're here. Is this the new friend you mentioned?" Sha Beixin uses his hand to wipe away the wine at the corner of his mouth and thinks to himself, Chu Chen, you're really coming at the right time." The blonde young man claps his hands and smiles slyly. "The foolish son-in-law of the Song family is here. Don't we have a birth date now?" Huang Yuhai hears this and says, "Yeah, you idiot, show some respect. Wait here, give me your birth date. After I've had some fun, I'll let you off." The two girls are also interested in looking at Chu Chen. Chu Chen is surprised and asks, "Huh? You're going to let me off?" Huang Yuhai calmly replies, "Yeah, of course." After hearing this, Chu Chen calmly says, "Hey, are you crazy? You raised your hand, pointed at Huang Yuhai, and continued, "You just came in and asked my date of birth. Do I know you? Why are you being so nice to me? Are you a Buddhist monk or something?" The 5 people in the VIP room, except for Chu Chen, were all dumbfounded and astonished after hearing these words. Each person had a different expression, but the most upset person was probably Huang Yuhai. Sha Bei was scared to death. He put his hand on his forehead and pondered. "Chu Chen, who are you scolding? I told you to come here to get acquainted with these bigwigs and make some money, not to scold them like this." After thinking for a moment, Sha Bei immediately stood up to defend Chu Chen. "Haha, Yuhai, Chu Chen is a business partner of mine. He's new here so he doesn't understand. I'll give you his date of birth, don't be so hard on him." Huang Yuhai was furious. He gritted his teeth and said coldly, "For Sha Bei's sake, I'll let him off this time." Sha Bei smiled brightly like a flower. "Okay, here's my date of birth." After giving his date of birth, he thought to himself, "Phew, although the Sha family is no weaker than the Huang family, this is the Huang family's territory. It's difficult for a dragon to control a local snake. I'd better help Chu Chen correct his mistake." But Chu Chen didn't understand. He pointed at Huang Yuhai and asked Sha Xiao, "Isn't it true? You called me here tonight so that this idiot from the Huang family can pretend to be a god?" After hearing this, Sha Xiao was stunned for 5 seconds. Huang Yuhai was also dumbfounded. His eyes glared at Chu Chen fiercely. Sha Xiao immediately stood up. He cursed silently, "Damn it, you called him an idiot? I finally managed to defuse the situation. And you're pouring oil on the fire?" Sha Bei was also furious and stood up, pointing at Chu Chen's face and scolding, "How dare you talk to Mr. Huang like that? Kneel down." Although he had been defended by 2 handsome young men, it seemed that it was not successful. Huang Yuhai was directly enraged. His face turned black. He said coldly, "Forget it, no need to send him." I'm afraid others will say I'm bullying the stupid." The two young men were astonished and dumbfounded, not knowing what was going to happen next. Suddenly, Huang Yuhai let out a cunning smile. He continued, "Let's make a bet. I will use Sha Bei to perform some miraculous magic tricks. If I prove that I'm not pretending to be a god, you have to kneel down and leave this bar on your knees." Chu Chen smiled confidently and put his hand on Sha Bei's shoulder, asking, "What if you can't prove it?" Then he smiled with narrowed eyes and continued, "You'll kneel down in front of me, right?" While talking, Chu Chen secretly stuck a talisman on Sha Bei's back. Huang Yuhai thought he had found a sucker and laughed heartily. "No problem, I agree with you." The girl next to him smiled with narrowed eyes. "Nice, there's a good show to watch." The blonde young man also laughed happily. The only person who cried was Sha Bei. "Chu Chen, are you really not going to give up?" "Chu Chen, I know that those supernatural things exist," Sha Bei advised Chu Chen once again. Moreover, Yuhai followed a master for several years. If he doesn't know, he wouldn't be able to brag. So Chen confidently said, "Don't worry, that idiot's paper talisman is just a toy." After saying that, he thought to himself, "I stopped playing with this stuff when I was 6 years old." After obtaining the birth date of Yuhai, So Chen wrote it on a piece of paper and pasted it on Yuhai's chest. Yuhai was still worried, sweating profusely. He still didn't really trust So Chen. On the other hand, Yuhai confidently said, "It's done. My birth date is written down now. Stand firm, little Baps. Next, I'll show you a miraculous moment." The blonde youth also pointed at So Xiao with a mocking tone, "Humph, you idiot, just wait to die." Yuhai was very tense, his whole body trembling. He stammered and asked So Chen, "It's too tense, nothing will happen, right?" In situations like this, all you need is a confident smile. And So Chen was just like that. He smiled and patted Yuhai's shoulder to reassure him, "Don't be afraid, I'll handle it." On Yuhai's side, his gaze was extremely strange. He used a needle to prick the paper, then ordered, "Stab Yuhai." He raised his left hand. Yuhai was terrified, his face turned pale. So Chen, standing behind, folded his arms across his chest and smiled slightly. Let's see what other tricks Yuhai has up his sleeve. A few seconds later, Yuhai worriedly thought to himself, "This feeling. I don't feel anything. Are you kidding me?" Yuhai was confused, not understanding what was happening. A silent atmosphere enveloped the room. Seeing this, the blonde youth turned to Yuhai and asked, "Brother Yu, is this useless?" Yuhai was also sweating profusely. He replied, "Humph, the program's effect will only activate after drinking the wine." You see, after saying that, he took the sharp needle and repeatedly pricked the paper, ordering, "Stab Yuhai." He raised his right hand. "Stab Yuhai." He raised his right hand again. On Yuhai's side, he was still dazed and confused. He thought, "Oh, still no feeling. Is Yuhai joking?" Moreover, he now felt that Yuhai was like a crazy person. So Chen saw this behavior of Yuhai and happily laughed. On Yuhai's side, he was now sweating profusely. He tightly gripped the paper in his hand, his other hand continuously pricking the needle on the paper, and he ordered, "Stab Yuhai." "Raise your left hand." "Stab Yuhai." "Raise your right hand." He thought to himself in discomfort, what's going on? It usually works 100% of the time. Why isn't it working at all today? This made the two girls and the blonde youth behind him panic. He continued to stubbornly order, "Stab Yuhai." "Raise your left leg." "Stab Yuhai." "Raise your right leg." On Yuhai's side, nothing changed. So Chen chuckled to himself, to deal with this kind of technique, I had to resort to a talisman I drew when I was 6 years old. It's a bit bullying, he thought to himself, then smiled brightly and said to Yuhai, "Young Master Yu, what other words can be used to describe your performance besides pretending to be a god and a ghost? If it weren't for me, I would have thought you were cosplaying Dung Mama and stabbing with a hairpin." As he spoke, So Chen imagined Yuhai in the form of Dung Mama and the blonde youth as a eunuch standing beside him. Yuhai was so angry that smoke came out of his head. He asked back, "What did you say?" The blonde youth also cursed, "You idiot, how do you talk to young Master Yu?" Yuhai quickly intervened to relieve the tense situation. "Hey Yuhai, So Chen is just joking with you. Let's stop here for tonight. So Chen and I will go back first. Bye." Contrary to Yuhai's worries, So Chen confidently continued, "Wait a minute, this idiot already said he would kneel in front of me. He won't break his promise, right?" The blonde youth was angry. He pointed his finger at So Chen's face, and with his other hand, He picked up the wine bottle on the table and smashed it, then fiercely cursed, "You idiot! You dare negotiate with young Master Yu? I think you want to die." Hearing this, Yu Hai snapped his fingers. His face darkened. He said, "Wait," making the short-haired girl beside him jump. He said in a deep voice, "Your name is So Chen, right? Are you sure you can accept this kneel from me?" The blonde youth was still fuming, holding the broken wine bottle in his hand, as if he wanted to charge forward. So Chen was not the least bit afraid. He confidently said, "Then kneel down, you're being quite slow about it." Seeing So Chen's confidence, Yu Hai thought in amazement, "So Chen, are you still pretending?" Immediately after that, Yu Hai knelt down on the floor. He said each word clearly, "I'll keep my promise." His eyes were now full of resentment. A bloodshot appeared in his eyes. He threatened, "But later, I'll make you know what this kneel means. You can't take it." Yu Hai was now extremely angry. He would do anything to get revenge on So Chen. Seeing his expression, the four people in the room were stunned. They all shared the same thought. Yu Hai didn't actually stay and kneel before So Chen. The only one smiling was So Chen. At this moment, So Chen stood in front of Yu Hai and said confidently, "Haha, I accept. Young Master Yu, please rise." After hearing this, Yu Hai's face must have turned crimson with anger. Yu Hai, standing to the side, was also amazed. His face turned pale. He thought to himself, "My God, does he think he's the Supreme Emperor?" Suddenly, a group of people in black clothes rushed in from outside. The sound of their footsteps was loud and clear. They surrounded Yu Hai and So Chen. They all had baseball bats in their hands. Yu Hai worriedly thought, "What? Revenge already?" Seeing his men arrive, Yu Hai slowly stood up. He smiled triumphantly. "Humph, So Chen, don't think I won't warn you now." The blonde youth ran over to help Yu Hai up and loudly ordered his men, "Go. Beat them to death, I'll take responsibility." Seeing Yu Hai's men aggressively charging forward, Yu Hai anxiously said to So Chen, "It's over, So Chen. I told you something would happen, and I'll protect you. But with so many of them, I can only do my best." Yu Hai cracked his knuckles with a crack, and instructed So Chen, "So Chen, I'll rush forward later, you find a chance to run. They won't dare touch me." So Chen smiled slightly, "Run? Why?" Then, he calmly raised his hand. Seeing So Chen's attitude and expression, Yu Hai was extremely surprised. Just as he finished speaking, So Chen immediately sped up and charged towards Yu Hai, much to the astonishment of his men and Yu Hai. Yu Hai smiled with delight. He clenched his fist, and sharp needles appeared from between his fingers. "Oh, you want to play catch? But do you think you can get close to me?" Just as Yu Hai finished speaking, So Chen had already rushed in front of him, fast as a gust of wind, making him panic. So Chen's speed was too fast. He grabbed Yu Hai's throat and pushed him forward with great force, smashing him hard against the wall, causing a section of the wall behind him to crack and crumble. Yu Hai's throat was choked by So Chen. He coughed violently, then spat out blood. So Chen smiled confidently, "Humph, I'm right next to you. What can you do to me?" So Chen's eyes were now extremely cold. Yu Hai's throat was choked. He couldn't speak, he could only cough violently. This made everyone in the room extremely shocked. Yu Hai exclaimed, "What? Yu Hai has been practicing martial arts since childhood. This idiot just used one move to take him down." The men who were so aggressive just now had their mouths wide open. The blonde youth angrily pointed at So Chen and loudly ordered, "Fight back. He dared to attack young Master Yu, beat him up for me." His men immediately charged towards So Chen with their bats in hand. So Chen didn't pay any attention to them. His gaze remained cold. Seeing the situation, Yu Hai shouted from the outside, "So Chen, stop. Come with me." Just as they were about to charge, Yu Hai loudly ordered, "Stop." His men were extremely shocked and froze for 5 seconds. Yu Hai said with difficulty, "Everyone disperse, let So Chen go." After saying that, he sighed heavily. His throat was still choked by So Chen. The blonde youth, Yu Hai, and the men were all incredibly shocked. The blonde youth exclaimed, "What?" So Chen finally released his grip. He smiled confidently, "Young Master Yu is wise. Brother Yu, let's go." Yu Hai, released from his grasp, sat slumped on the ground, breathing heavily like a dog. So Chen, with a composed demeanor, put his hands in his pockets and walked out confidently, making Yu Hai think in astonishment, "I didn't hear wrong, did I?" Yu Hai let So Chen go? Normally, he would go crazy, but when he meets So Chen, After So Chen and Yu Hai disappeared, the blonde youth frantically asked, Young Master Yu, you really want to let him go? One of the men quickly helped Yu Hai up. He was shaking, sweating profusely. He gritted his teeth and scolded, "Shut up. I still don't understand why my skills were useless, but now I understand." He thought angrily, "I'm afraid this So Chen is also a person from the Chiman school, and his realm is even higher than mine." Looking at the broken wall with the imprint of his body still on it, he worriedly thought, "My performance in front of So Chen was probably just a show for a layman." At that moment, the phone rang. The blonde youth quickly picked up the call. He didn't know what was said on the other end, making him ask in surprise, "Oh, really?" After finishing the phone call, the blonde youth excitedly said to Yu Hai, "Good news, young Master Yu. A group of martial arts masters from Yangdong came to the bar. They said they were sent by young Master Yi to find So Chen. So Chen is dead tonight." Yu Hai snorted coldly and replied, "Useless." Then, he turned and left, not forgetting to reactivate his shoulder and arm joints. The blonde youth was confused and asked, "Why is it useless?" The blonde youth quickly chased after Yu Hai and left the bar. Looking at the mess in front of him, Yu Hai said coldly, "See for yourself." Yu Hai thought, having learned the Chiman technique and understanding the world of Chiman, he should know that a true strongman can command the wind and rain, and change the world. The blonde youth was also shocked. His eyes widened in amazement. A group of people in black clothes were lying scattered on the ground. They were badly injured. The blonde youth was horrified and exclaimed, "Who beat up all the people from the Yongdi Martial Arts Hall?" The blonde youth was still dazed and confused, looking out from inside the glass door. At this moment, Yu Hai was thinking to himself, "It seems like I need to invite a strong person from my sect to deal with So Chen. Otherwise, it's best not to provoke him." Meanwhile, So Chen and Yu Hai had gone outside and towards the parking lot. So Chen's walking speed was incredibly fast, making Yu Hai breathless as he followed. Yu Hai stopped to catch his breath and asked in bewilderment, "So Chen, what did you do just now?" "Just now, there were so many martial arts masters. Did you defeat them all?" So Chen smiled and replied, "I don't know either. It seems like those people from Tianhe fell on their own." As he spoke, he walked towards his white car and began to open the door. He got into the car, not forgetting to say goodbye to Yu Hai. "Brother Yu, I'm afraid my wife will come to check on me. I have to go home. Bye." Hearing this, Yu Hai froze for 5 seconds. "Damn, you're not afraid of Yu Hai, but you're afraid of your wife? I really admire you. You're right. Why wouldn't you be afraid of your wife?" As he got into the car, So Chen looked out the window and thought to himself, "I just used 6-year-old martial arts techniques and beat them all up. It seems I went a bit overboard." Seeing So Chen's fear of his wife, Xiao Shu took off her glasses and sighed, "Brother-in-law, I didn't expect you to be so afraid of your wife. Knowing you makes me feel embarrassed." The scene shifted to the hospital where young Master Yi was resting. After receiving news that his men were defeated by So Chen, he shouted angrily, "What? The people I sent to beat up So Chen were all defeated by someone else, and they even let So Chen escape without any injuries." Young Master Yi clenched his fists in anger and thought to himself, "Could it be that the strong person I invited to save So Chen? Why would young Master Sha care so much for that idiot?" Young Master Yi's mother saw his discontent and brought him a pear. She put it in his hand and said softly, "It's okay, my son. Perhaps young Master Sha has a special liking for something. Eat a pear to calm down." Young Master Yi also reached out to take the pear from his mother's hand. Suddenly, his hand was struck by an impulse that caused it to go numb. He cried out, "Ah, my arm is numb. Ah, now everything I touch feels numb. Mom, don't touch me." His mother panicked and called out, "My son." Seeing her son in pain lying on the hospital bed, young Master Yi's mother thought angrily, "Damn that So Chen, he dared to hurt my son like this. I must get revenge and make him suffer." The next day, news spread online, shocking. Young Master Sha, the hero of Yangcheng, chooses a partner. The reason is So Xiao, the foolish son-in-law of the Zhao family. Tiancheng Daily. Miss Song San is betrayed. The third party is young Master San of the Sha family. Song Kangheng read this news and laughed happily. "Isn't this So Xiao? No wonder young Master Sha values him so much. It turns out he's offering his chrysanthemum." At that moment, Song Yan and So Chen walked out from inside. Song Yan heard Song Kangheng's mockery. She was angry and said, "Song Kangheng, it's early in the morning. What nonsense are you talking about?" Song Kangheng sneered, held up his phone and said, Haha, Sister Yan, this isn't me talking nonsense. The whole city is talking about it. I'm just here to inform you. After informing So Chen and Song Yan about this news, he proudly turned and left, not forgetting to sarcastically add, "Oh, I didn't expect your whole family to not only ruin So Chen's fortune, but also make him do this. It's really progressing, haha." Hearing this, Song Yan angrily shouted, "Kang Hung." Seeing Song Yan's anger, So Chen ran over and smiled brightly, comforting his wife, "Wife, don't be angry. I haven't paid attention to these rumors before." Song Yan sighed, "Husband, I know you're thick-skinned and don't care, but the important thing is Sha Yuhai. The Sha family is a prominent family. These rumors spread everywhere and could affect our cooperation." So Chen continued to comfort Song Yan, "It's okay, wife. If these rumors harm our virtue, heaven will surely punish him." As he spoke, So Chen secretly did something with his hand. Song Yan helplessly replied, "Humph, you just hope for heavenly punishment. You're only comforting yourself." Just as she finished speaking, a scream rang out, making her extremely shocked. So Chen smiled slightly. Song Yan turned and asked So Chen, "What was that noise? It sounds very tragic." So Chen softly replied, "Hey, go see for yourself and you'll know." The scream continued, "Ah. It hurts so much. Ah." After hearing So Chen say, "Go see for yourself," Song Yan asked, "So what?" So Chen didn't say anything, just smiled. It turned out the scream belonged to Song Kanghung. He continued to cry for help. Ah, help. As he cried for help, he cried tears and snot. He continued to wail, "A snake bit my precious thing. It hurts so much. Ah." So Chen was so evil, he let a snake bite his precious thing. Will he become a eunuch? Song Yan saw the scene in front of her and couldn't help but be frightened. She covered her mouth with her hand, sweat dripping down her face. She thought to herself, what to do? Why is there real retribution? Could it be that So Chen is telling the truth? On So Chen's side, he stood beside Song Yan, grinned, and took out his phone to record Song Kanghung's current state. So Chen still had a bright smile on his face as he said to Song Yan, "Wife, don't be afraid. Don't look at these images, you might faint. As for rescuing him, leave it to me." As he spoke, So Chen swung his arm, still holding his phone to record the scene. He smiled smugly. In just a second, So Chen kicked Song Kanghung's precious thing, making him feel the pain all the way to his heart and unable to scream. Song Yan, standing nearby, couldn't help but be surprised by So Chen's action. Song Kanghung was in excruciating pain. So Chen's kick had hit two targets, Song Kanghung's little bird and the snake. He arrogantly said, "Go to hell. Fat Sun Vo An Quoc, Buddha Mountain Shadowless Kick, Hong Du Du Tui Jock, Pink Plum Beautiful Feeling." Just then, Song Kanghung's third brother, Song Kanghuo, and two of his men rushed in from the gate. Kanghuo panicked and shouted, "Stop it, So Chen, what are you doing?" So Chen turned and glanced at him. Kanghuo angrily pointed at So Chen and ordered his men, "This idiot dared to hit my brother. Catch him and beat him up for me." The two men rolled up their sleeves and prepared to charge. So Chen responded with a calm smile. He said, "Wait, don't blame the good guy. Look carefully." This made the two bodyguards puzzled, not understanding what was happening. So Chen pointed at the dead snake at his feet and said, "Your brother's precious thing was bitten by a snake. I just did a righteous deed. Did I do something wrong?" Kanghuo looked at his beloved snake, dead at So Chen's feet. He stammered, "That's my missing snake?" Song Kanghung lay motionless, raising his hand tremblingly and saying, "Third brother, quickly detoxify me. I'm in so much pain." Kanghuo immediately ordered his men, "Damn it. Quickly take my brother home." The men immediately came forward and carried Song Kanghung away. Song Yan was full of doubts. After they left, Song Yan asked, "Why did they take Kanghung home? Shouldn't they go to the hospital?" So Chen, scrolling through his phone, replied, "Haha, maybe second uncle has some kind of magical elixir." The scene shifted to outside the Song mansion. Inside the mansion, a scream echoed, "Damn So Chen. You actually accidentally stomped on my son's precious snake." This was the snake my son had been diligently training for years. This rare snake was so obedient to my son. Kanghuo mourned the snake in his hands. He cried uncontrollably. Song Kanghung was back in bed, covered in a blanket. He seemed to have a fever. Song Muyang sat on the bed, helplessly sighing, "It's okay, Kanghuo. Help Kanghung suck out the poison." Then he continued, "Give the two of them some good news. Kang Hong, your eldest brother, has successfully won the heart of Miss from the Huang family. He's going to meet Miss Er's parents soon. Hearing this news, both Kang Huo and Kang Hung were overjoyed, and they said in unison, "Really? The Huang family is the richest family in Tiancheng." Song Muyang clasped his hands together, stroked his chin, and said seriously, "Yes, the Song and Yang families all want to climb high into the Huang family. But they wouldn't dare dream that we'd be related by marriage to the richest family in Tiancheng. Having the Huang family's support, won't the position of head of the family be in my hands?" The scene shifted to the Huang family, the first noble family in Tiancheng. From inside the magnificent mansion, a surprised voice exclaimed, "My God, Sha Hai, did you really write this?" A soft voice replied, "Yes, Grandpa." Huang Zhanhong, the head of the Huang family, was holding a piece of calligraphy. He was amazed and praised, "Excellent. In Tiancheng, no one can compare to you in this calligraphy. Use your calligraphy this time for the Tapton ceremony." Huang Yu Hai, hearing this, was overjoyed and respectfully bowed, "Grandpa, you flatter me. I'm still far from being good." In his mind, he thought, "Humph, this calligraphy was written by a senior from my sect. It won't be easy to get the Tapton ceremony." Huang Zhanhong looked at the calligraphy in his hand and said to Huang Yu Hai, "Okay, help me throw away the rest. I really don't want to look at other people's calligraphy." Huang Yu Hai agreed and turned around to walk forward. He began to tear up the papers with other people's calligraphy. Suddenly, he noticed something nearby. Among the pile of papers, there were many names written on them. Health, success. Huang Yu Hai stopped at the name, So Chen. He thought to himself, So Chen, was this calligraphy sent by the Song family? Humph, it's unexpected that this rude So Chen also knows how to write calligraphy. At most, he knows a little bit of skill. His signature is already this bad, I need to see how bad the entire piece is. As he thought, he used his hand to flip the pages to see So Chen's calligraphy. Now, he was holding the paper with So Chen's calligraphy. As soon as Huang Yu Hai opened the paper to look at the calligraphy, he couldn't help but be amazed. The calligraphy on So Chen's paper was like a dragon and tiger fighting. His whole body trembled. Seeing this, Huang Zhanhong also looked over. Huang Zhanhong noticed the calligraphy on the paper. He immediately stood up, pointed at the paper, and asked Huang Yu Hai, "Yu Hai, whose calligraphy is this?" This made Huang Yu Hai startled and confused. Without waiting for Huang Yu Hai to answer, Huang Zhanhong immediately took the paper with the calligraphy, threw it to Huang Yu Hai, and said, "The product of your work. No, the product of your forgery is more accurate." As soon as he looked at the calligraphy, it was like a bolt of lightning struck him. He exclaimed in surprise, "The content and the spirit of this calligraphy are perfectly in line with my wishes." Immediately, Huang Zhanhong decided, "This is the calligraphy I'm looking for. The Tapton ceremony will use this one." Hearing this, Huang Yu Hai asked in confusion, "Grandpa, you're not going to use my calligraphy?" Standing before these perfect strokes, Huang Zhanhong couldn't take his eyes off them. He calmly said to his grandson, "No need, this calligraphy has already expressed everything I want. Your calligraphy is still far inferior to his." This made Huang Yu Hai extremely shocked and disappointed. He angrily said to his grandfather, "But Grandpa, I know the owner of this calligraphy must be that famous idiot in Tiancheng. You can check the signature below. Maybe his signature is so bad that he hired someone else to write it." Having said this to his grandfather, he thought to himself, "How could So Chen know calligraphy? He even has better handwriting than my master." Hearing these words, Huang Zhanhong was angry. His eyes turned red, and he turned to his grandson and said coldly, "Don't forget, for the Tapton ceremony, we always choose a talented person, regardless of their background. As long as they write well, their calligraphy will be considered a masterpiece." Huang Yu Hai was furious, but he could do nothing. He replied, "Yes, Grandpa, I understand." He thought angrily in his heart, "Damn So Chen. Wait until the grand ceremony. I'll expose you, reveal that you hired someone else to write it, and make you disgraced in front of the whole city." The scene shifted to the hospital where young Master Yi was resting. His mother was reassuring him, "My son, the doctors here can't cure your illness. Try to endure it. Your father and I have contacted the best hospital in Desheng. We'll transfer you soon." As she spoke, she used a handkerchief to wipe away her tears. Young Master Yi, lying in the hospital bed, was still gritting his teeth, trying to endure the pain. Then, his mother gently placed her hand on his to comfort him. But she forgot that touching anything would send a numbing sensation to him. This was the case again. A numbing sensation pierced through his heart, causing him to scream in pain. Ah! My hand, my hand. The doctor is useless. Tell him to come. Tell So Chen to come. Hearing this, his mother asked in panic, "Do you want to take revenge on So Chen?" "My son, don't worry. Last night I had people spread rumors that he has feelings for young Master Xia. Now, just wait for the Xia family to get angry and make him lose this cooperation." Young Master Yi's eyes suddenly turned red. He was in pain, sweating profusely, and his hands trembled. He said, "Mom, don't bother with that. It hurts so much." At that time, So Chen knew how to make me wake up. Maybe he knows how to save me. His mother was surprised and asked, "Are you saying he can do that?" "I'll have someone contact him now." Very quickly, someone contacted So Chen by phone. He picked up the phone and casually said, "Hello, who is this?" "I'm in a meeting with my wife." "What is it? Be quick." As soon as So Chen answered, young Master Yi's mother handed the phone to her son. Young Master Yi immediately spoke, "So Chen, it's me, young Master Yi. I'm asking you, do you know how to detoxify snake venom?" So Chen heard this and gave a cold smile. He replied, "Young Master Yi, last night, I was almost beaten up by your people at the Tianhao bar. You think it's appropriate to ask me now? I'm hanging up." Young Master Yi heard this and hurriedly said, Hoo, don't. "So Chen, if you can detoxify me, I promise to forget everything that happened before. I and Yongdong will never trouble you again." Young Master Yi spoke with an extremely sincere pleading voice. Seeing him concede and beg, So Chen relented. "Oh, this is negotiable, but I still want to add a condition. My father-in-law has been unhappy lately because the three-way cooperation is broken." Before So Chen finished speaking, young Master Yi eagerly agreed. Okay. I'll restore the three-way cooperation with Song Muyang. Now, quickly tell me how to detoxify it." So Chen laughed and replied, Haha, okay. But speaking of detoxification, I actually don't know how to do it." Yi Xiaohuang heard these words from So Chen. Thinking he was being played, he shouted into the phone, "You playing me?" "So Chen, don't be a jerk." Yi Xiaohuang's mother also heard this, and her body trembled with fear. So Chen sighed and replied, "Calm down. I don't know how to cure the poison, but I know who can." He then pressed his phone and sent a video to the man, and messaged him, "I just sent you a video." Yi Xiaohuang's mother immediately played the video for him. He recognized the snake that had bitten him. "So the snake that bit me also bit Tong Shangwang?" He couldn't help but exclaim in shock. So Chen continued to say to him, "Yes, Tong Shangwang was bitten today. He was also in pain and discomfort like you. But the Tong family didn't take him to the hospital, they took him home directly." Not long after, Tong Shangwang started jumping around. Do you find it strange? If you don't believe me, you can call Tong Shangwang and ask him. I'm hanging up. Yi Xiaohuang heard this, his anger flared and veins popped on his face. He said, "Wait, but it was too late," so Chen had hung up. He was furious, and thought back on the previous events, cursing under his breath, "Damn it. So Chen means the Tong Muyang family can cure the snake venom? But when I was bitten, Tong Muyang was clearly there. Why didn't he cure me?" Thinking about it, Yi Xiaohuang was enraged. His eyes darkened, and he told his mother, "Mom, call Tong Shangwang here. I want to see if what So Chen said is true." His mother was also furious and quickly picked up her phone to dial. On So Chen's side, he let out a gleeful smile and said to himself, "I can't wait for Tong Shangwang to be questioned by Yi Xiaohuang." At this moment, the door to the room opened. The three of them, Xia Bei's uncle, and Tong Yan, were happily chatting. Xia Bei's fourth uncle, Xia Yanwan, turned to Tong Yan and laughed heartily. "Haha, I wasn't confident about the cooperation, but seeing your plan, Ms. Tong, I'm much more confident now. I think in just 1 year, our Bei Chen pharmaceutical company can enter the Tiancheng market." Tong Yan happily replied, "Thank you, Mr. Xia, for valuing us. We will definitely do our best." Xia Bei ran over and put his arm around So Chen's shoulder, saying cheerfully, "So Chen, with your wife, our Bei Chen pharmaceutical company will soar to new heights." So Chen heard this and smiled confidently. "Of course, haven't you seen who my wife is?" Tong Yan. Hearing the two of them being so self-absorbed, her face darkened and she thought to herself, "These two, don't they know how to be humble?" At this moment, Xia Bei's phone rang. Xia Bei wondered, "Why is old man calling me?" He happily picked up the phone. On the other end of the line was the voice of Xia Bei's old man, who was scolding him, "You look what you've done. The bad news about you and that So Chen has spread everywhere, everyone knows. Why don't you give up that shameful Bei Chen pharmaceutical company and come back here to me?" The old man's scolding voice was too loud, and the three people behind them heard everything. They were all shocked. Even Sha Bei couldn't believe what he had just heard. He quickly tried to explain, "Dad, what are you afraid of? It's just a rumor. Our Bei Chen pharmaceutical company is just starting to flourish." Just before he could finish, his grandpa continued to scold him. "I don't care if it's a rumor or not. You've already embarrassed our entire family. You come back to Yangcheng and abandon this cooperation right now." Sha Yanwan, as soon as he heard the conversation between Sha Bei and his grandpa, let out a strained smile and said to Tong Yan, "Well, Ms. Tong, our old man has spoken. I think our cooperation will end here. I'm sorry." Tong Yan felt helpless and could only gently reply, "It's all right." On So Chen's side, he immediately snatched the phone from Sha Bei's hand, leaving Sha Bei in a state of shock. So Chen put the phone to his ear and started talking to Sha Bei's grandpa. "Grandpa, it's rumored that Sha Bei is involved with me. Is it true, or should I discuss this matter with you later?" All three of them were stunned by So Chen's actions. Sha Bei panicked and said to So Chen, "So Chen, that's my grandpa." So Chen raised a finger to signal Sha Bei to be quiet, then continued talking on the phone to Sha Bei's grandpa. "Grandpa, the main reason for this is that you feel embarrassed, right?" he asked, then confidently continued, "All right, let me help you regain your reputation. I swear that within 4 months, our Bei Chen pharmaceutical company will enter the Tiancheng market. If we do, I ask you to allow us to continue the cooperation." Both Sha Bei and Sha Yanwan were dumbfounded after hearing this. So Chen continued with even more confidence. "Compared to the 2 to 3 years of others, 4 months is a miracle, right? By then, not only can we help you regain your reputation, this solid achievement can also make the rumors disappear. Give me another chance, alright?" On the other end of the line, Sha Bei's grandpa angrily shouted, "HMPH, insolent. You, little So, you really talk big without shame." Even Sha Bei, Sha Yanwan, and Tong Yan were shocked when they heard So Chen confidently affirm this. Sha Yanwan stammered, Four months? Sha Bei also didn't believe it and said to So Chen, "You're such a bullshitter. My grandpa hates people who brag the most." On the other end of the line, Sha Bei's grandpa continued, "But to be so arrogant in front of such a big figure, haha, I haven't met a young man like you in a long time. Okay, I'll give you another chance." As he spoke, he let out a smile full of amusement. Sha Bei's grandpa didn't forget to add, "But if you disappoint me in the end, don't blame me for getting angry." After hearing these words from his grandpa, all three of them, Sha Bei, Sha Yanwan, and Tong Yan, were struck dumb. On So Chen's side, he just smiled confidently, finished speaking, and returned the phone to Sha Bei. The atmosphere was a bit less awkward and anxious. Sha Bei couldn't help but praise So Chen. "Damn, So Chen, you're amazing. You even managed to handle my grandpa." Sha Yanwan also gave So Chen a compliment. "You're truly unprecedented. You've never been seen before." Tong Yan was also amazed and stammered, "The old man, he actually..." Sha Yanwan continued, "So Chen, even though you've calmed down the old man, we only have 4 months. Can we really do it?" So Chen confidently said to them, "Trust me, as long as Bei Chen is united, we can definitely do it." Sha Bei saw So Chen's confident look and happily put his arm around So Chen's shoulder. "Haha, I believe you. You're the person I chose, of course I believe you." Tong Yan also looked at So Chen and thought, "Even though I feel like So Chen is bragging, I don't know why, but we have this confidence to win." The scene shifted to the hospital where Yi Xiao Huang was recuperating. Tong Shangwang held a bouquet of white lilies and happily said to Tong Muyang and Tong Shangwang, "Haha, Dad, second brother, tell me, is Yi Xiao Huang looking for us to talk about a big deal? Wanting to continue the tripartite cooperation with us?" Tong Shangwang smiled triumphantly and said, "Now we just need to get the tripartite cooperation and we can easily crush them." Tong Muyang crossed his arms in front of his chest and confidently replied, "Haha, wait for the next family gathering. Won't the position of family head be mine?" Tong Shangwang let out a cunning smile and continued, So Chen, wait for my dad to become the family head, and I'll torture you to death." As soon as he finished speaking, the three of them reached the door of the ward. The three of them opened the door and entered, smiling brightly. "Mr. Yi, we're here to visit you. How's your health been lately?" Tong Shangwang and Tong Shangwang spoke. Yi Xiaohuang's mother turned sharply, glared, and shouted, "Kneel down." She continued to shout, "Kneel down." The three Tong family members were startled and immediately knelt down. They were bewildered, not understanding what was happening. Yi Xiaohuang, lying in the hospital bed, loudly questioned, "Tong Shangwang, you can cure snake venom. Why didn't you tell me?" His mother, standing by the hospital bed, angrily clenched her fists. Tong Shangwang, confronted with the question, felt a pang of guilt. He stammered, Yi Xiaohuang, what do you mean by asking that?" But in his heart, he was worried. Why is Yi Xiaohuang suddenly asking about this? Yi Xiaohuang then showed the three of them the video recording of Tong Shangwang being bitten by the snake, and continued to question, "Explain to me why we were bitten by the same snake. I was in agony for days, but you went home for a trip and recovered?" The three Tong family members felt as if they had been struck by lightning after watching the video. All three of them exclaimed in horror, "That's..." Tong Shangwang thought in panic, "This is it. This is the photo So Chen took, right? How can I explain this?" He immediately explained, "Yi Xiaohuang, we can cure the venom. But we originally wanted to teach So Chen a lesson, and didn't expect him to bite you." Tong Muyang also trembled and explained, "Yes, Yi Xiaohuang, we can cure you now. But about the tripartite cooperation, after the venom is cured." Before he could finish his sentence, Yi Xiaohuang's mother immediately threw a water bottle at the heads of the three of them and cursed, "Damn you! You harmed my son, and you still want benefits?" Yi Xiaohuang angrily snorted coldly and scolded them. "I've decided to give the tripartite cooperation to Tong Taiyang. From now on, the Yi family will not cooperate with you, Tong Muyang. Hurry up and cure the venom." The three Tong family members were scolded severely. Tong Shangwang stammered in response, Yes. Tong Muyang thought in panic, "What? No cooperation from now on?" After completing everything, the three Tong family members left the hospital sullenly. Tong Shangwang dejectedly said, "It's over now. Yi Xiaohuang has abandoned our entire family." Tong Shangwang had a hot water bottle thrown at his forehead and had to get it bandaged. He angrily rubbed his wound and cursed, "Damn it. It's all because of So Chen. He's sowing discord. When I get the chance, I'll definitely kill him." At this moment, Tong Muyang picked up his phone to check his messages. He excitedly shouted, "Ha, great. This is good." This made his two sons look at him in surprise. "What's wrong, Dad?" Tong Muyang happily informed his two sons, "Your elder brother said he's gotten close to the daughter of the Huang family. The Huang family has agreed to the engagement. Tonight, Huang Wuji will invite us over to discuss the engagement." The two sons heard this and exclaimed in surprise, "What? Eldest brother succeeded?" Tong Muyang let out a triumphant smile. He thought to himself, "In Tiancheng, the Huang family is the one who makes the decisions. As long as we can marry into the Huang family, even if the Yi family breaks ties with us, so what?" The three Tong Muyang family members smiled smugly. "With the support of the Huang family, we can definitely prevent Tong Taiyang from becoming the family head. So Chen, just wait. See what I do to you after tonight." The scene shifted to Tong Taiyang's private residence. A voice urgently rang out, "Not good, not good. I heard that the Tong Muyang family and the Huang family are discussing marriage tonight." Song Taoyang and the others were shocked. Song Taoyang asked hurriedly, "Xin Ping, is this true?" Xin Ping quickly replied, "Absolutely true. I saw it with my own eyes." Song Kan Bang boasted in front of many people. Chu Jian heard this and said in panic, "It's over. Now the Ha family will want to break off their cooperation with us because of the rumors." Xin Ping also added, and the three-way cooperation was also handed over to the second uncle by the Yi family. That's right, once the second uncle is involved with the Huang family, losing the position of family head is the least of our worries. Xin Ping reminded everyone of the deep hatred between the two brothers of the Song family. He said, "The second uncle always thought that our father harmed him and his mother died during childbirth. If he still holds a grudge, he will probably pursue us relentlessly." Hearing these words, Song Taoyang was terrified and started sweating profusely. Just then, So Tran entered from outside, turning the doorknob. He said, "Haha, the second uncle is just going to meet the Huang family. He hasn't decided on a marriage yet." So Tran calmly continued, "Everyone is here, worrying over something that may not even happen. I have received news that our recent cooperation not only will not be lost, but also the cooperation of the Ha family and the Yi family will be restored." Everyone in the room was stunned upon hearing So Tran's words. Their minds were filled with huge question marks. Shen Ping didn't believe So Tran's words. He pointed his finger directly at So Tran's face and shouted, "HMPH, you're lying. A brat like you, how could you have reliable information?" So Tran chuckled coldly, "HMPH, you don't believe me?" Then he spoke seriously, "My source of information is not trivial. Otherwise, how do you think I figured out the golden poison incident last time?" Song Ta-yong heard this and said hastily, So Tran, tell us where you got this information." He thought to himself, last time So Tran could see the golden poison, maybe he really has some information. So Tran responded, "Yes, father." Everyone, look carefully. Seeing So Tran's behavior, everyone had the same expression of bewilderment. So Tran replied, "Yes, father." Everyone, look carefully. Seeing So Tran's behavior, everyone had the same expression of bewilderment. Immediately, So Tran took out his phone. On the phone screen was an image of a sea sponge holding up a purple snail. He smiled and said, 1010, my source of information is from the magical sea snail. He didn't forget to add, everyone, if you want to know anything, you can ask it. The omnipotent sea snail will fulfill our wishes. This scene directly made Song Ta-yong and his two sons-in-law look like fools. All three of them shared the same thought, a childish trick? So Tran continued to play the fool, I've shared it on WeChat, everyone can go ask. It's very accurate. These words from So Tran made all three of them look like they had swallowed a fly. Shen Ping angrily pointed at So Tran and cursed, "You're being disrespectful. We're discussing the fate of our family here, how dare you joke around?" At the most tense moment, Song Nian entered from outside. As soon as she entered the room, she said softly, "Father, everyone is here." Shen Ping saw Song Nian's appearance and said loudly, "Song Nian, you came at the right time. Quickly take this idiot away. This guy keeps going crazy and saying the Ha family's cooperation won't be lost." Song Nian heard this and immediately defended her husband, So Tran. She said, "He's not wrong. Look at this," and she held out a piece of paper. This made Shen Ping surprised. He turned his head and glanced, "HMPH, what is this?" After seeing the contents on the paper, Song Ta-yong and his two sons-in-law heard a loud boom like thunder in their ears. Shen Ping was astonished and exclaimed, "What? Mr. Ha agreed to cooperate." Chu Jian had the same expression, "How is that possible?" Even Song Nian's father, Song Ta-yong, was shocked. He turned to his daughter and asked, "Wasn't Mr. Ha very concerned about public opinion? With those rumors, how could he agree to cooperate?" Shen Ping heard this and once again pointed at So Tran and said loudly, "HMPH, So Tran was lucky and guessed right. But he said the three-way cooperation will also resume, that's absolutely impossible." At the most tense moment, Song Ta-yang's phone rang. He hurriedly answered the call. He didn't know what the other side was saying, but he only heard Song Ta-yong exclaim in surprise, "Huh?" Then he replied, "Ah, yes, yes." This surprised everyone, not just the two sons-in-law. At this time, Song Ta-yong was still listening attentively to the phone. He didn't dare to make a sound. As soon as the call ended, Song Ta-yang's expression turned serious. He said, "Everyone, Yi Xiao just called me. He said he's withdrawing from the Song family's Mu Yang and wants to restart the three-way cooperation with us." Hearing these words, Song Ta-yang's two sons-in-law and daughter were once again struck by thunder. They were astonished and exclaimed, "How is that possible?" Then, all three of them surrounded So Tran and interrogated him. So Tran, how did you do it? Your sea snail isn't some kind of demonic magic, is it? So Tran calmly replied, "You guys can share it and see for yourselves." Shen Ping heard this and hastily said, "Okay, quickly add me on WeChat." Chu Jian also quickly took out his phone and said, "Add me too." Even his father-in-law immediately took out his phone and stammered, "So Tran, me." So Tran smiled confidently, holding up his phone and said, "Don't rush, everyone will have their turn." So Tran's WeChat notification. System reminder. Your brother-in-law, Chu Jian, has shared your profile. Your elder sister, Song Yun, has shared your profile. Your father-in-law, Song Ta-yong, has shared your profile. Your brother-in-law, Lin Shinping, has shared your profile and has recharged 5,000 yuan to become the #1 devotee on the Sea Snail leaderboard. That night, the game that So Tran boasted about was shared by everyone in the Song family. So Tran even earned a few thousand. The next morning, as the sun rose, So Tran and Song Nian were walking in the garden. Song Nian said, "So Tran, our cooperation with the Ha family is officially starting. but the Ha family has decided to have their company in the Jin Tan building. At this point, Song Nian's face fell slightly. Seeing this, So Tran asked, "Is there a problem?" Song Nian continued, "The Jin Tan building is the property of the Huang family. Once the second uncle marries into the Huang family, he can just say the word, and the Huang family won't let us enter the Jin Tan building." Song Nian sighed and continued, "In Tiancheng, only the Jin Tan building has the most resources and opportunities. You can only realize your 4-month promise by going there." Hearing these words, So Tran exclaimed in surprise, "Oh." Suddenly, So Tran turned and embraced Song Nian. She was a little surprised. While hugging his wife, So Tran gently stroked her soft hair and said, "I didn't expect you to work so hard for me. Leave the matter of the Jin Tan building to me." Then, So Tran took his phone out of his pocket. He dialed a number to call Xiaohu. "Hey Xiaohu, take me out for a trip." Seeing this, Song Yan worriedly asked, "So Chen, what do you want to do? You don't want to go out and fight again, do you?" So Chen, hearing his wife, smiled wryly. "My wife? How could that be?" Song Yan was still very worried at this time. So Chen immediately turned to smile brightly, and didn't forget to raise a thumb to reassure his wife, "I'm a very obedient law-abiding citizen." Very quickly, Xiaohu arrived to pick up So Chen and took him to a place with ancient architecture, secluded and located at the foot of the mountain. So Chen and Xiaohu opened the door and stepped inside. Inside, it was pitch dark, without a single light, and the atmosphere was a bit eerie. Xiaohu said to So Chen with a serious expression, "Brother-in-law, I'm not afraid to come here, but why are you so insistent on coming to this place?" Xiaohu looked around and continued, "Are you sure this place is for humans? Because in front of us, there are 2 skulls." So Chen walked over and lifted one of the skulls. He said seriously, "If you're scared, you can go out and wait." Xiaohu was scared, but she still tried to appear calm. Who is scared?" Xiaohu pouted and continued, "I'm your bodyguard, how can I leave you?" Xiaohu just finished speaking, then turned around and couldn't see her brother-in-law anymore. She called out, "Hey." Suddenly, Xiaohu discovered something. Her eyes stared intently at that direction. It was a strange human face with a wide mouth and lips. Its long hair was loose, and it was placing its hand on Xiaohu's shoulder and saying, "Get out of here." Xiaohu was so scared that her eyes were about to pop out, her nose was running, and her sweat was pouring down like a bath. Immediately, Xiaohu scrambled to run away. As she ran, Xiaohu kept shouting, "Ah, ghost." Then she said to So Chen, "Brother-in-law, I remembered I have an online class, I'll go first." Seeing Xiaohu's appearance, So Chen turned around and said regretfully, "Her guts are too small, huh?" So Chen looked around at the objects in the room, then picked up a brush and ink. Turning to ask a girl, he said, "How do you sell this vermilion ink brush?" The girl immediately took off the mask that had just frightened Xiaohu. She said coldly, "Hey, don't you see that our store is closed?" The girl said seriously, "Please leave." So Chen didn't leave, but immediately turned to pay attention to the talisman that the girl was holding. He said, "Oh, young lady, are you looking at a spirit talisman? From this talisman, you're from the Starry Firmament sect, right?" The girl was surprised and turned to ask So Chen, "You can tell this is a spirit talisman from the Starry Firmament sect?" So Chen put his hand to his mouth and smiled brightly, "Of course, I'm very familiar with the Starry Firmament sect. After all, I'm the senior brother of Taoist Le Yun, the sect master of your Starry Firmament sect. According to seniority, I can be considered your Grand Master." After saying that, So Chen put his hand to the girl's head, causing her to be a bit stunned. Immediately, the girl became angry and made a hand seal, scolding, "How dare you!" Then, she quickly rushed towards So Chen, scolding again, "You thief! How dare you insult my Starry Firmament sect master!" So Chen was also surprised by the girl's action and put his hand up to block her. The girl continued to take out the spirit talisman in her hand. She coldly said, "Today, if you don't apologize to my master, don't even think about leaving." So Chen gritted his teeth, and a drop of cold sweat dripped down his face. So Chen quickly grabbed the girl's hand, but his sleeve was torn by the girl. The girl was surprised and widened her eyes. So Chen grabbed the girl's hand tightly and lifted her up. He angrily scolded, "What are you doing?" The girl was extremely confused at this moment. So Chen angrily shouted, This is the designer clothing my wife bought for me. You tore it, she'll think I went out fighting. How will I explain when I get home?" The girl was grabbed tightly by So Chen. Her arm trembled, but her face was still very fierce. The girl thought to herself, wait, he can grab me? Even his strength makes my body unable to move. Finally, So Chen released the girl, but she was still stiff in place. So Chen coldly snorted and said, if it weren't for the fact that I promised Le Yun that I would take care of the Starry Firmament sect when I met them, you would have to pay for this. After saying that, So Chen stretched out his hand. He snatched the spirit talisman in the girl's hand, making her bewildered. He said, alright, now I'll write my phone number for you. So Chen used the brush to write his phone number on the spirit talisman. As he wrote, he instructed, if you encounter any trouble in the future, you can call your Grandmaster. This made the girl open her mouth in surprise. After writing it, he stuck the talisman with his phone number on the girl's forehead, not forgetting to say goodbye. Goodbye, impolite little girl. He also took the brush and vermilion ink, informing the girl that he was taking it. I'm taking this. The girl was angry, but couldn't do anything because she was unable to move. She could only curse silently. Damn it, not only did he insult my master, he also scribbled on my talisman. After a while, sweating profusely, the girl finally managed to move. The girl angrily clutched the spirit talisman in her hand and continued to curse silently. This guy, not only did he insult my master, but he also scribbled on the talisman I'm studying. I'll remember this grudge. She angrily held the spirit talisman and looked at it. But the next second, her eyes widened in surprise. No, I've been studying this spirit talisman for months and can't break it. She held the talisman up and carefully examined it again. She wondered, his phone number, can it break it? Immediately, the girl turned her head and shouted, Grandpa, I figured out the spirit talisman. So Chen was already outside, but he could still hear the girl calling her grandfather. He squinted his eyes and sighed softly. HMPH, although this little girl is a bit rude, but as her grandmaster, I should still give her a meeting gift. From inside the room, the girl's grandfather's voice echoed out, oh, WUU. You've already solved it in just a few months? Wu Yu's grandfather was already old, his hair and beard were white, and his back was a bit hunched. He supported himself with a cane, lifted the curtain, stepped out, and continued, with this talent, you may have the potential to enter the 9 profound gate. The little girl WUU angrily asked back, yeah, why does our starry firmament sect have to go to the 9 profound gate? Maybe he doesn't like to mention the 9 profound gate, that's why he has this attitude. Wu Yu's grandfather laughed, haha, little one, all the world's best techniques come from the 9 profound. The 9 profound gate is the holy land of the world's best gate, surpassing all sects. The 9 profound has a total of 9 branches of ultimate skills. Many people spend their entire lives learning one of these branches. Our starry firmament sect master was fortunate to have learned one branch, which allowed him to establish our sect. Our starry firmament sect has had less than 5 disciples in the past 50 years who could enter the 9 profound. After hearing these words from her grandfather, the little girl WUU asked in surprise, it's that difficult? WUU held the spirit talisman in her hand and continued, but I could see through this talisman, it was drawn by that strange guy just now. At that time, he only looked at it once. He's from the 9 profound, right? Wu Yu's grandfather was surprised and said, what? He only looked at it once and could break it? He has that kind of strength? Why didn't you keep him? WUU angrily crossed her arms in front of her chest and continued, well, he's not really a senior. He's only a little over 20 years old. He also bragged about Taoist Le Yun being his junior brother. I chased him away. Her grandfather coughed, so this arrogant young man has such strength? WUU held the spirit talisman in her hand, her face filled with determination. Anyway, I'll continue to work hard, and one day I'll surpass him. The scene changes to a luxurious hotel in the city. The eldest son of Song Mu Yang, Song Shanglong, was holding a glass of wine. He stood up excitedly and said, our whole family is truly honored. Song Mu Yang, sitting next to his son, also smiled so much that his mouth couldn't close. The 5th son of Huang Laojia, Huang Qida, also raised his glass of wine and laughed happily. Ha ha ha, you're too kind, Shanglong. As long as you take good care of my tutu, I'll be satisfied. After saying that, he turned to embrace his daughter and continued, after all, my tutu really needs someone to depend on. His daughter was touched. Oh, Dad. His daughter, Huang Tutu, looked like a muscular woman. It was unknown if she was the one relying on others or others were relying on her. Song Shanglong was overjoyed and turned to grab Huang Tutu's thick wrist, gently saying, yeah, Tutu, your dad is right. He continued to pour honeyed words into Tutu's ear. From the first time I saw you, I fell in love with you. Perhaps you are the only one in this life for me. Hearing these honeyed words, Huang Tutu blushed shyly, looking at Shang Long with loving eyes. She softly called out Shang Long's name. Shang Long continued to teary-eyed swear, Tutu, I swear, I will treat you well for the rest of my life. I will love you from the bottom of my heart. Huang Tutu was touched, tears streaming down her face. I will too. Then, the muscular girl, Tutu, hugged Shang Long tightly in her arms. The two touched each other and felt moved. Seeing this, Huang Qida and the others raised their glasses. He smiled happily, ha ha ha, then let's decide on this marriage like this. Cheers. Seeing that the marriage had been settled, Song Muyang spoke up, fifth brother, my family has encountered some trouble lately. I wonder if you could help us. Huang Qida happily replied, haha, we're going to be family. Just say what it is. Song Muyang, as if his heart was opened, spoke cunningly, oh, family. You know I have an elder brother named Song Zayang. I'm honest and have no ambitions, but my brother has used every means to harm me for the position of family head. Then, Song Muyang began to put on a deep acting performance. He cried and lamented, not only did he steal the three-party cooperation that should have belonged to my family, but he also tried every means to bully my son. I don't know what to do, I can only endure it silently. After hearing this, Huang Qida was angry. What? There's such a thing? Shang Long was also bullied? Shang Long wanted to enter the Jin Tan building for development, but my brother's daughter also wanted to enter that building. They issued an order not to let Shang Long in. Shang Long is not good at talking, so he had to compromise and give the opportunity to my brother's daughter. Song Muyang continued. Huang Qida was angry after hearing this. He clenched his fist and slammed it on the table. He angrily cursed, damn it, Song Zayang, you dared to bully my son-in-law. He gritted his teeth and said in a gruff voice, but Jin Tan is mine, the Huang family's. With me here, they can't enter even a single step. Song Muyang heard the firm affirmation in Huang Qida's words and smiled happily, ha ha ha, good. Thank you, fifth brother. He was secretly delighted. Ha ha, Song Zayang can't enter Jin Tan. Let's see how you enter the Tiancheng market. They happily raised their glasses to drink. Come on, everyone, drink up. At the same time, So Chen had heard everything outside. He snorted and thought to himself, ha, this old fox is really up to something. He even dares to touch his wife's career. Then you've picked the wrong person to mess with. So Chen smiled and used the brush he had gotten from Wu to draw on the back of his hand. After drawing an incantation on the back of his hand, So Chen made a hand seal, smiling triumphantly. Haha, you guys aren't tired of drinking? How about we play a game of truth or dare? Then, he muttered some incantations, pointed two fingers forward. Shang Long was immediately hit, standing up in surprise and bewilderment, in front of the muscular girl, Huang Tutu, and his future father-in-law. Shang Long had been hit by the 9 profound illusionary spirit technique. He couldn't control his own body at the moment. He tried his best, gritting his teeth to move, but he failed. The muscular girl, Huang Tutu, beside him, put both hands on her cheeks shyly. Don't you want to propose right here? The muscular girl Tutu asked. Shang Long, what's wrong? As soon as she finished speaking, the muscular girl was splashed with a glass of wine by the rogue boy, causing the muscular girl's fragile heart to be shocked and her eyes to widen in surprise. After splashing wine on Tutu's face, Kan Long then smiled wickedly and proposed marriage with a sleazy voice. Tutu was also surprised by this situation. Her eyes widened, and she frowned, saying I advise this tank to respect me a little bit. Muk Duong was also surprised by Kan Long's actions and hurriedly asked Kan Long, what are you doing? Kan Long turned around, rolled his eyes, and said loudly, what am I doing? I just want to tell the truth. Muk Duong opened his mouth wide when he heard the answer. Then he poured the wine on Tutu while mockingly saying, haha, Hoang Tutu, if it weren't for my father seeing the royal family as strong, a handsome man like me wouldn't like a monkey in human clothing like you. Tutu couldn't believe the truth in front of her eyes and spoke breathlessly, Kan Long. Hoang Ky Duck couldn't stand it at this point. He stood up, furious, and slammed the table hard, shouting, Tong Kan Long, what are you saying? Kan Long smirked wickedly, what am I saying, and this old man too? I haven't even mentioned you yet. Hoang Ky Duck heard this, frowned angrily, and didn't know what to say for a moment. Then he continued, you can raise your daughter to this state, You're a real talent. You didn't buy the wrong baby formula for muscle building powder, did you? He said while laughing loudly, looking very hateful. Hoang Duck KY was so angry when he heard this, he couldn't stand it. He had a heart attack. He painfully raised his hand to hold his chest, only managing to utter one word, you. He continued to provoke, you. You what, old man, not satisfied? If you have the guts, do something. Suddenly, with a bang, Hoang Tu used his strong, powerful fist to punch him straight in the face, not allowing him to continue to be rude, causing him to spit blood from his mouth. Hoang Tu shouted in disbelief, I can't believe you're a person like that. Then Hoang Tu used his strong body, his muscles bulging, to press him down and continue punching him. With all his anger, Hoang Tu punched and shouted at him, so you've been playing with my feelings all along, so you've been taking advantage of me. Kan Long had no chance to fight back. He lay there gasping, only able to moan in pain. Hoang Tu continued to grab his collar, shook him up, and said, I'm so disappointed in your family. Then, he gripped his strong, healthy hands around his neck, shouted, break up, scum. Kan Long was beaten up, making him turn green and spit blood from his mouth. A cracking sound rang out. He no longer had the strength to resist. Then Hoang Tu turned around and left, not forgetting to call, Dad, let's go, leaving him lying there gasping, green and bruised, barely alive on the floor. Hoang Duck KY scolded, HMPH, I'm giving you credit for Tu taking action, otherwise, I deal with you guys. Tong Muk Duong witnessed everything, not understanding what was happening. He stood rooted to the spot, sweating profusely, only managing to say, when everyone had left. Duong Kan Bang ran out to help him up and said, oh, what are you doing, big brother? Why would you say these things out of the blue? One of them noticed something strange and spoke up, wait, the traces of this strange skill. He hesitated for a moment, then continued, I'm afraid big brother is being controlled by someone else. Everyone behind them heard this and opened their mouths wide. Kan Long's younger brother exclaimed, what? He continued, isn't there Zhang Dao Shi from the Tong Taoyang family? He can control big brother like that. I think only Zhang Dao Shi can do that. Tong Muk Duong couldn't believe his ears. He asked again in doubt, it's Tong Taoyang, how? But how did they know about our meeting with the royal family? Did any of you leak the information? Muk Duong asked. Everyone froze for a moment when they heard this. Hearing this, Tong Kan Bang raised his trembling hand to look at it. Then he raised his trembling hand and confessed breathlessly, today in front of outsiders, I boasted about getting married. With a thud, a fist landed straight on Tong Kan Bang's face, causing his nosebleed to spurt out. Tong Muk Duong shouted angrily, success is unseen, failure is abundant, now it's exposed. Tong Muk Duong turned around angrily and said, damn it, Tong Taoyang, are you guys trying to chase me to the death? Okay, don't let me find a chance, leaving Duong Kan Bang sprawled on the ground. The scene shifts to So Tran, walking and laughing gleefully, ha ha ha. I only told Tong Kan Long to tell the truth a little bit. I didn't expect the truth to be so stimulating. Suddenly, a clacking sound came from the front. A figure appeared continuously punching the iron lamppost by the roadside. So Tran stood there observing, suddenly realizing, wrong way. Wrong way, I'm going to die of anger, I'm going to die of anger. He paid attention to the person in front of him, not understanding his actions. He continuously punched the lamppost by the roadside with an angry face. As he punched, he said, damn it, damn it. He continued, what kind of chicken coop is this place? The force of his hand made the lamppost dent. As he was continuously venting his anger on the lamppost, So Tran behind him suddenly spoke up, hey, brother, it's not right to vandalize public property. He turned around, with a huge, enormous figure. It could be said that he was twice as tall as So Tran. He said in a deep voice, hey, you. I came to this Zen city for a challenge, but now my mobile phone navigation is messed up. I don't know where to go. So Tran heard this and offered a solution. Well, if you're lost, you can take a taxi, tell them the address and have the driver take you there. Hearing this, he sadly raised his hand to his chest and said, oh, I get motion sickness. I get motion sickness even on a bicycle. So Tran didn't know what to say for a moment. He answered, so? Then he offered a suggestion, so if you want to go to a martial arts gym, I know one. We can be friends, I can show you how to get there. So Tran said happily. He was also interested and happily took out his phone to add him as a friend, saying, really? Then he brought his phone close to So Tran's phone and said excitedly, thank you, I'll scan you. I'll scan you. What's your name, young man? So Tran laughed and replied, haha, no problem, you can call me Dong Ven. After scanning, So Tran thought to himself, looking at this brother's martial arts skills, his strength must be no joke. I remember last time Vin Dong led people to block me in front of the bar. So this time, So Tran must have some plans. The next morning, So Tran and Tong Nyan went to the Kimden building. Tong Nyan said, So Tran, yesterday, I didn't expect the engagement of your second uncle with the Hoang family to fall apart. I really can't believe it. The second uncle's matter wasn't caused by you, was it? Tong Nyan got out of the car and questioned So Tran. So Tran just smiled and denied, how could it be? Then he looked up at the sky, raised a hand to shield his eyes, and said, although it's a little happy in someone else's pain. But without the second uncle, we can finally rest assured about choosing the company's address in the Kimden building. Then he looked at the building and continued, So Tran, we need to choose carefully today. So Tran agreed and said, okay, then the two of them walked together. Waiting and waiting, no staff appeared. So Tran stomped his foot on the notification bell and said, hey, where are the staff? It's been 2 hours, why hasn't anyone come to greet us? So Tran said, thinking, I've heard that the sales staff at the Kimden building are very difficult. We've stumbled upon them. Tong Nyan sat beside him, saw So Tran stomping, frowned, and reminded him, So Tran, take your foot off. It's so bad. After a long wait, finally, a steaming hot cup of coffee with smoke still rising was brought over, along with the voice, oh dear, sorry to keep you waiting. A young man dressed neatly, holding a cup of coffee, stirring it slowly, walked over and introduced himself. I'm Director Hoang, in charge of the building's sales. May I ask if you two have your eyes on the 21st floor? Tong Nyan spoke up, that's right. May I ask what the price is here? Hey, don't ask about the price, I'm sure you two can't afford it. Besides, I feel that even if you buy it, you won't be able to stay for a few days. He ignored the two, turned his back on them and replied. The two people sitting behind didn't understand. Tong Nyan wondered why. Then he sat down on the chair and continued, phew, because the 21st floor is Deep Xiao's company. I heard that you guys have conflicts below. It's the Tian Pharmaceutical Company, which is also a competitor of someone else. Added to that, Tian Xiao and Deep Xiao are close friends. So, it's an enemy on both sides. You guys are risking buying this floor. I think you won't be able to hold on for long, you'll go bankrupt. He finished speaking and leisurely took a sip of coffee. The two of them frowned in confusion when they heard this. They continuously asked So Tran, wife, what is the Tian Pharmaceutical Company? The Tian Pharmaceutical Company is the property of the Tian family. The Tian family is one of the 5 great families in the Zen city. Tong Nyan said, one of the 5 great families? So Tran suddenly remembered. Back then in Hua City, there were a total of 5 big families, including 5 family heads. Hoang, Tru, Tun, Tian, and Tong. Zen City is now ruled by the Hoang family, but the power of the Tian family cannot be underestimated. The Tong family, we were originally one of the 5 great families, it's just that we've declined now. Tong Nyan continued, Director Hoang, I believe we can persevere, please allow us to try. So Tran sat next to her, pondered, HMPH, the Tong family has declined. This director is looking down on people, huh? The sound of footsteps approaching accompanied by someone's voice, hee, my good colleague is here. Director Hoang heard the voice, looked over with a surprised expression. The young man introduced himself, Tong Nyan, I'm Tian Bo Thu of the Tian Pharmaceutical Company. The young man walked and extended his hand, wanting to shake hands politely. Tong Nyan lowered her head, was meek, and said softly, hello, Tian Xiao. Director Hoang quickly said, let's go, have a seat, Tian Xiao. Tian Xiao is a senior in the pharmaceutical industry. I hope to receive more guidance. Tong Nyan said softly. Hearing this, Tian Bo Thu said, what's there to ask for guidance? You're just a newcomer, how dare you come to the Kimden building to choose a location? You must be secretly protected by Deep Xiao, right? Tong Nyan heard this, frowned in anger, and asked, what do you mean? He lowered his head, raised one finger, and said, I'll be blunt with you, Deep Xiao and I are close friends. If you are her person, I won't make things difficult for you. If not, I won't give you any face. Tong Nyan heard this, immediately explained, Tian Xiao, you misunderstood. Deep Xiao and I have no relationship. This is my husband, So Tran. He looked at Director Hoang, the two of them laughed mockingly and said, Oh, right, I forgot, you and Deep Xiao haven't gotten engaged yet. But I can't believe he actually likes another man's wife. That's right, thinking about developing a separate relationship is quite stimulating. So Tran quickly walked up to him. He used his hand to slap him directly. He was slapped, almost falling face first. Then So Tran grabbed his wrist, rubbed it, and stood in front of him, saying, "We're here to choose an address for our company. You just got here and you're already saying all sorts of inappropriate things, are you crazy?" So Tran shouted. Tong Nian was surprised by So Tran's actions and said loudly, "So Tran." Director Hoang saw this, ran over, and also shouted, "Tian Xiao. HMPH, I came here to show off to you guys. You guys dare to act cocky, you. This stupid son-in-law who beat Vin Dong in front of so many people, you're really famous." Tian Bothu said. He was punched hard by So Tran, causing his face to be bruised and swollen. He angrily cursed. "You should know that anyone who wants to do the pharmaceutical industry in Zen City has to kneel down and beg me. For those who just stepped into the pharmaceutical manufacturing industry like you, as long as I want." He paused a little and continued. "Squeezing you to death is no different than squeezing an ant to death." He continued to grab So Tran's collar and cursed, "I heard you're very capable, huh? If you're capable, keep hitting me. As long as you have you, don't be afraid of death, don't be afraid of your wife's efforts, and your Shaw family's ruined in an instant, go ahead and hit me, ha ha ha." So Tran remained cold and expressionless. Hitting is hitting. Then he used his foot to kick him straight in the back leg, causing him to react too late. So Tran looked at him lying on the ground, saying, "I've grown this big. Never heard of this kind of strange request like this." With a finished sentence, So Tran continued to use his foot to kick him hard, sending him flying into the air, and said, "Tian Xiao." With a loud bang, Tian Xiao fell heavily to the ground, flying a distance. His body bruised and scratched, tried to sit up, pointed, and ordered, "AAA, Director Hoang, call someone, quickly call someone for me. He dared to do this to me, I'll cripple him." Director Hoang stood there, hearing the order, quickly replied, "Yes," and shouted loudly, "Security, where are you?" He kept calling, "Security, where are you, for me?" After a while, several security guards carrying security batons rushed over. Among them was a woman. Tong Nian ran over, spread her arms to block So Tran from the security guards, and said to them, "You can't go over there. You can call the police to handle it, but you can't do this." So Tran leaned close to Tong Nian's face, soothingly said, "It's okay, wife, I just sent a message to Sha Bei. Wait for Sha Bei to contact Huang Yu Hai. Let Yu Hai manage this place." Tian Xiao heard this, pointed at So Tran and said, "HMPH, you think Huang Yu Hai will follow you? Today, not only can you not stay in the Kimden building, but I will also make you never be able to stand up again in your life," he said with a very angry voice, threatening. Director Hoang, who was standing next to him, also looked at So Tran with a threatening gaze. After saying that, Tian Xiao told the security guards to go ahead. The security guards immediately grabbed Tong Nian and So Tran's hands. Tong Nian struggled. The female security guard said, "Miss, don't make things difficult for us." Tong Nian looked towards So Tran and shouted, "So Tran, they're going to hit you, can you escape? Run quickly." So Tran, who was tied up behind his back, spoke up, "It's okay, wife, let them catch me. They will apologize to us later." Tian Xiao heard this, mocked and said, "HMPH, I have to apologize to you." Director Hoang also added, "Idiot, are you still dreaming?" Tian Xiao ran to the front of So Tran and said, "Look, I'll torture you." Suddenly, a phone ring from Director Hoang's pocket rang. He picked up the phone, listened, and cursed, "Damn it, who has no eyes and is calling at this time?" On the other side, a deep voice rang out, "Hello, Director Hoang, who do you mean has no eyes?" It turned out to be Huang Yu Hai, the person So Tran and Tian Xiao had mentioned earlier. Director Hoang heard this, panicked, his face turned pale, he couldn't speak, he stammered, Yu Hai Xiao." Tian Xiao, holding a brick-sized brick, stood in front of So Tran, who was being held tightly by two security guards, and said, "Haha, So Tran, it's hard for the Tong family to cooperate and advance into the Kimden building, but it's just started, and your clumsiness has ruined it all." Then he grabbed So Tran's hair, brought his face close, and held the brick in his hand close to So Tran's face, continuing to threaten, "Here, I want the rest of your life to be spent in a wheelchair." As soon as he finished, he raised the brick in his hand high, getting ready to hit So Tran. Tong Nian, who was being controlled by the security guards, saw this, worried, and shouted, "So Tran." Suddenly, a voice rang out, "Stop." The Tian Xiao hadn't had time to act, making him stop in surprise, not understanding what was happening. Director Hoang rushed out from somewhere, punched him directly in the face, and shouted loudly, "Don't touch So Tran Gongzi." He was hit hard, knocked back, his nose and mouth bled, he cried out, "Ah!" Tian Xiao fell to the ground, hitting a pot of cactus, causing it to shatter. The cactus thorns stabbed Tian Xiao's face, causing him to grab his face and cry out in pain, "Quadruple A, my face." Director Hoang ran over, untied So Tran, tried to smile awkwardly, and asked, "Please, please, So Tran Gongzi, are you okay?" So Tran glanced at him disdainfully and replied, "Oh, just now, weren't you hoping something would happen to me?" He heard this, sweat dripping, trying to salvage the situation. "Aha, just now, it was all wrong, I was wrong." Tong Nian, when she was released, rushed over, pulled So Tran's hand, and said, "So Tran, let's go," secretly thinking, "Although I don't know why Director Hoang saved So Tran, but we can't move into this building. So Tran's safety is more important," leaving Director Hoang looking after them in a daze. Director Hoang hurriedly ran over, bowed his head, and said, This, Miss Tong, don't go. Just now, I was a blind dog. I didn't know how to recognize people. Now, not only can I sell this floor to you, but I can also give you a 30% discount." Tong Nian stood in front of So Tran, surprised, and asked, 30%? Tian Xiao, with his miserable appearance, lay there, struggling to raise his head, and shouted loudly, "Director Hoang, are you crazy? You see clearly who you should please now." Director Hoang stood there looking proudly, and said, "I'm sorry, Tian Xiao." Just now, Yu Hai Xiao said, "If anyone in the building dares to make things difficult for So Tran, then he is the enemy of the royal family." He heard this, exclaimed, What? So Tran, with sharp eyes, thought, "I know Xiao Huang loves and hates me at the same time. Anyway, he offended someone in Qimen, what will the consequences be?" Director Hoang bent down and bowed, saying, "Okay, Mr. So, Miss Tong, let's go and sign the contract for the 21st floor." "Okay," Tong Nian replied. Tian Xiao, sitting on the ground, saw this, trembled, and said two words, hateful, full of anger. He tried to threaten So Tran, "Don't get too happy. Yu Hai only said that you can't be touched within the Kimden building. Let's see what happens when you leave this building later. You know Vin Dong from the Vin Du martial arts gym? He's my brother. Later, as long as you dare to step out of the Kimden building, I'll tell Vin Dong to bring the master of the martial arts gym to break your legs." He finished speaking and picked up the phone to call someone. So Tran looked at the phone and said, "Ah, you mean Dong Vin? I'm sure he doesn't have time to help you now." Tian Xiao confidently said, "HMPH, you're still being stubborn. Vin Dong is my good brother. Even if he has to climb a mountain of swords and descend into a sea of fire, he'll come to help me." Someone picked up the phone on the other side. He said loudly into the phone, "Hello, Vin Dong, quickly bring someone to Kimden, I need you." "Hello, it's Tian Xiao, help. Please come and save me." The person on the other side replied. Hearing this, Tian Xiao's face turned pale. He was sweating profusely, and he didn't understand. "Save you?" At this time, So Tran turned his phone screen around, showed it to Tian Xiao, and said, "Oh, it seems like your good friend can't come anymore. Right now, the Vin Du martial arts gym is being live-streamed." He saw despair on his face. Besides, Vin Dong and the master of the martial arts gym you mentioned are in big trouble. The phone screen shows the image of the master of the martial arts gym lying on the ground, looking very miserable, while Vin Dong is still listening to Tian Xiao's call for help, saying, "Oh, the master of the Vin Du martial arts gym has been knocked out. I heard the sign was also knocked down, damn it, the person who beat them is really awesome." Tian Xiao heard this, as if struck by lightning, quickly said, "The martial arts gym, the Vin Du martial arts gym was taken down. Who could defeat the master of the Vin Du martial arts gym?" "Haha, you want to ask who it is?" So Tran smirked and asked. "Then I don't know." So Tran replied. Then he looked at the phone. The chat record between him and the blind man So Tran had met before. The content of the chat appeared. The blind man sent So Tran the reason why the gym was taken down. Then So Tran showed the chat record to Tian Xiao, secretly thinking, "I had seen this guy's fighting skills before, it really didn't disappoint me." Night fell. At the Tong family residence, Tong Nian asked So Tran, Are you blessed by the goddess of luck? Why is it that as long as you're here, danger is always averted? So Tran humbly replied, maybe it's because I like helping people. Oh, you can't keep teasing your enemies like that. We're about to go to the family party. You have to be well behaved later, okay? Tong Nian said helplessly, reminding So Tran. So Tran just smiled and replied, wife, don't worry, everyone knows about this side of me. Tong Nian heard this, put her hands on her hips, frowned a little in anger, glanced at So Tran, and said, is that so? So Tran just chuckled. At this time, the whole Tong family was having a family gathering in the living room. Lin Tianping spoke up and asked, Xiao Shu, the Kimdan grand celebration is coming up. How's your lion dance practice going? Tong Shu lowered her head, looking sad, and replied, it's not going very well. Although I've been practicing hard, compared to the seniors from other families, my lion dance is still far behind. Lin Tianping laughed happily and encouraged, it's okay, we don't expect you to defeat those seniors with decades of experience. Her elder sister added, as long as you don't come in last. Her younger sister also continued, that's right, our goal is to avoid being too embarrassing. Tong Shu frowned, uneasy, and said, but I really want to win glory for the family. Chu Jian, who was sitting next to her, continued, HMPH, people should know their place. How can a wild chicken compare to a hawk? Wouldn't that be inviting shame? So Tran walked over and encouraged, it's okay, Xiao Shu, don't listen to them. Brother-in-law believes you can definitely win first place. Everyone heard this and started to say, HMPH, this idiot is eavesdropping again, isn't he afraid of making things big? A bystander said, it's quite easy to listen. Anyway, it's not him who's competing, he can just stand there and say whatever he wants. So Tran walked over, pulled a chair, and said, who said I'm a bystander? Do you guys know about the lion dance betting? Let me support Xiao Shu. I bet all my money on her. Lin Tianping heard this and asked, oh, to encourage Xiao Shu? We bet 5,000 yuan symbolically for Xiao Shu. How much did you bet? Not much, just $1 million. So Tran said lightly, then he showed everyone the betting bill on his phone. Everyone was stunned when they heard the amount. Lin Tianping said, what? 1 million? Tong Nian was also surprised. She turned to So Tran and asked, where did you get the money from? Oh, I borrowed it from Sha Bei. So Tran replied, you borrowed $1 million to bet, it's too unreasonable. Why didn't you tell me? Tong Nian questioned angrily. Lin Tianping, after hearing So Tran say this, laughed loudly, ha ha ha, this guy is crazy. $1 million can be used for a small project, take it to bet. Tong Shu wins, it's like believing a newborn baby can run a marathon. Chu Jian also added, don't you understand anything about previous lion dance competitions? You should know that just the Hoang family alone has been the lion dance champion for several years in a row. Countless families have tried to defeat their lion, but they all ended up miserably. Tong Shu spoke up, that's right, brother-in-law. I appreciate your heart, but you don't need to waste $1 million. So Tran still kept a calm expression, replying, it's okay, now her odds are 120. If she wins, it can be exchanged for 20 million. Lin Tianping continued to laugh and said, ha ha ha, are you still dreaming? A cough sounded. Tong Ta Yang, supporting his father, walked in and loudly reminded everyone to be quiet, the family gathering is about to begin. Grandpa said, Ta Yang, Mu Yang, you two report your recent situation. Yes, Tong Ta Yang slowly said, Father, recently, we have resumed the three-way cooperation with the Deep and Vin families. The cooperation with the Sha family is also supported by Sha Lao, and for now, it is going smoothly. That's great. What about you, Mu Yang? Grandpa asked Tong Mu Yang. Mu Yang frowned, showing a clear sense of worry. He hesitated and said, I. Then, he gathered all his courage, closed his eyes tightly, gritted his teeth, and admitted, the situation of us recently is not very good. The two sons of Mu Yang showed clear signs of embarrassment and shame on their faces. Is that so? Whether the situation is good or not, the host family still belongs to Ta Yang. Yes, father. Tong Ta Yang replied. The two sons of Mu Yang couldn't bear it, thinking in their heads, damn it. Karma, and you guys, the whole So Tren family, just wait. The Tong family patriarch continued, next, the most important thing is the Huang family's Lion Dance Festival. The Tong family, every year, we come in last, it's a bit embarrassing. Ta Yang, Mu Yang. I want you two brothers to cooperate on the stage and try to get a good ranking. Tong Ta Yang replied, yes, father. But I'm afraid. His voice hesitated a little, thinking in his head, for years, Mu Yang and I have been at odds. Even if I agreed to cooperate, Mu Yang wouldn't agree. Tong Mu Yang, hearing this, immediately agreed, yes, father. I will instruct my lion dance team to do their best to support Xiao Shu, and try to get her a good ranking. The two sons of Mu Yang then smiled wickedly. Tong Ta Yang was a little suspicious, thinking strangely, second uncle actually agreed to cooperate, and he even took the initiative to offer to help Xiao Shu. Chu Jian also whispered, moreover. The Tong family patriarch glanced at Ta Yang, probing, Ta Yang, what do you think? Ta Yang lowered his head and said, second uncle said so, naturally, I have no objections. Okay, then at that time, you must help each other and get a good ranking. The patriarch said. Mu Yang smiled, then said, father, that's what we should do. So Tran observed everything, but didn't say anything for the time being. So Tran immediately told his wife, Xiao Shu, I suspect they don't have good intentions like that. You have to be more careful when you go on stage. Tong Shu sat next to him, frowned, and asked, what? So Tran slapped her hard, a loud clap sounded, be careful, you might be busy. Okay, I got it. Tong Shu replied. Tong Mu Yang glared at So Tran, threatening, you guys, just wait. The night before the Kimdan Grand Celebration, Huang Yu Hai sat on the sofa, scrolling through his phone, and said, the Bei Tran Pharmaceutical Company bet 1 million at my place. Betting on Tong Shu from the Tong family to win the championship. He laughed loudly and continued, ha ha ha, Sha Bei is winning over So Tran and giving me money? Could it be that he's really as good as Long Yang? Then, he suddenly revealed a scheming face and said, I've already invited my master. Tomorrow, not only will I expose So Tran, but I will also have my master take revenge on him after the competition. The next day, the Kimdan Grand Celebration was opened. In front of the competition venue, there were many people coming and going. The Mick excitedly said, welcome everyone, to the Kimdan Grand Celebration. Then, a string of fireworks were shot up, incredibly brilliant. The whole Tong family went there. Grandpa looked around and exclaimed, wow, the number of participants this time is more than previous times. Tong Mu Yang said, father, don't worry. This time, I've asked Kan Long Ying to come back. Kan Long Ying's specialty is the lion dance. He will definitely help Xiao Shu get a good ranking today. Xiao Shu, long time no see. Tong Kan Long Ying, the second son of Tong Mu Yang, was wearing a performance outfit. He looked at Tong Shu and greeted her. Tong Shu also cheerfully waved back, long time no see, Ying. Grandpa expressed his satisfaction, saying, I believe you brothers will work together and definitely achieve good results. Then the two of them shook hands. Chu Jian carefully observed the surrounding situation. Then Mu Yang and Ta Yang helped the Tong family patriarch to the spectators' seats. Sha Bei was also sitting there. Seeing So Tran and Tong Nyan coming, he called out, So Tran, sit here. So Tran saw Sha Bei calling him, so he happily agreed. Huang Yu Hai saw Sha Bei and said, Sha Xiao, I heard you bet 1 million for Tong Shu to win over So Tran. Deep Xiao Huang, who was sitting next to Huang Yu Hai, also added, or, while the competition hasn't started yet, quickly change it to my family's lion dance team. Sha Bei heard the others mocking him, so he said back, oh, you want me to bet on your family? I'd rather bet on your uncle than you. So Tran heard this, smiled brightly, raised 2 fingers, and praised, Brother Bei, you're so cool. The two, Huang Yu Hai and Deep Xiao Huang, were furious when Sha Bei retorted like that.